Hello, everybody. Okay. Hey, Maurice. Uh, Sorry to mute the mic to cough. I'm a little under the weather. I had to call into work. That's how bad it was. I was up all night dry heaving. But still feeling the effects of it, but I'm just, yeah. Alright, where you at, bro? Alright, where's Justin? Show just ended, so should be here in a little bit. Do. Yeah, I actually did watch. Oh, here we go. Here's Justin. Here's the man of the hour.
Yep.
Yer.
Sorry, AEW's been doing little overruns lately. Been going like 2 or 3 minutes over on their shows.
Oh, they did? They did this time?
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I saw what the main event was, I'm just like, let me just get ready for the show.
I figured.
You sound like you're in a cave.
Dang. Well, it's my microphone. Let me fix it.
Yeah, I did watch the show. It was, and maybe you just sound like an AEW hater. It wasn't particularly good. Aside from the MJF and Adam Cole stuff, even the in-ring promo was enjoyable. The vignette was a little too goofy for me, but yeah, the rest of the show was not very good in my opinion.
I'm trying to fix my mic. Hold on.
It's all good, man.
I can't find my, it's on my webcam mic, which is definitely not it, but I can't find my Yeti. Hold on, let me unplug and plug it back. Let me do that. Sorry.
It's all good, man.
There we go.
Here we go.
There we go. Cool. And let me change that here. All right. Yep. Yeah, I was. The show tonight. I mean, there was some. There was some stuff I really enjoyed on the show. I enjoyed the Adam Cole MJF stuff, the vignette and the promo, and but there was some stuff on here was like you can like that promo to me is up there for like maybe like promo of the year for AEW or whatnot. But then like right after that, you had like the worst match I've ever seen on AEW. Period.
Was that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match?
Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible. So
I was waiting for you to say that first because I'm like, I wonder how Justin felt about it.
No, it was terrible. It was terrible. It's not good in WWE. It's not good in AEW. So and I will give AEW fans credit. They agreed on Twitter. They were like, this is like probably the worst match I've ever seen. So it's just not like fake. You know, I'm gonna fake love it because I love AEW. So at least for what I saw, people were at least being fair about it. So which all I can fucking ask for, just be fair about everything, you know. So, but tonight AEW though, I'll probably give it maybe like, I mean, there was still some stuff I really still enjoyed on the show though. You know, like overall, right. You know, like the I thought the Jericho and the Callis segment, I thought that was great. You know, and they are. I mean, I'm gonna rant a lot tonight about what's going on in AEW right now, but oh yeah, you're gonna love this. It's probably gonna be your favorite podcast of the year.
I'm actually my nipples are hard. Can you see them? My nipples are really hard, dude.
So we get to talk shit about AEW, yeah. So you know,
yes.
Which is we get to talk shit about AEW, but
maybe the happiest man in the world.
Yeah, but I mean, but like I said, but the show I give a 6 out of 10 though, you know, so because I thought they did some good build to the good build to the pay-per-view, even though it's like, you know, we only got 2 weeks away, but yeah, there were some things on here that was like I could have really done without. Like, I love the bunny, I love her, I really do, but I don't need to see her in the ring actually wrestling, like, you know what I mean. I know she tries hard, but like still, like, I don't want to see her in the ring wrestling. That fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match. Yeah. So anyway,
save all that for the show, brother. So let's just do this intro already. In 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Wednesday, and you know what time it is? It is the Experience. And you already know who I am. I'm Drew. I'm the host. And I don't know why there's a fucking echo. All right, it's gone. And with me, as always, is my podcasting partner in crime,
Justin from Spinebuster Tees and SpinebusterTees.com.
And Justin made me happy before we started the show. If you listen to the pre-show, this show is going to be very much an AEW roast, if you will. So it's going to be a fun night tonight, guys. But before we get into anything, how are you doing, man? How's everything? How's the store? Talk to me.
Good, man. Good. Shop's good, you know. Everything's going well. You know, like I couldn't be any happier right now. You know what I mean? Can't be any happier right now. So, but yeah, man, just preparing for this weekend. This weekend we're actually having an event. I think it's like the first time in a few weeks since we had an event. So it's like a Monsters event, because you know the guy that runs the event, all he knows is horror. He doesn't know anything else. But yeah, man, like having a good time though. Having a fun time, you know. So can't complain.
Oh, man, I love hearing that shit. And again, I can't emphasize how much I'm proud of you for your success.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And here's to even more success. So, which I know you're gonna do, because you are the definition of you bet on yourself and you made a name out of yourself. So here's the more continued success, which I know you're gonna get.
I appreciate it. It's DIY. Yeah, I should play DIY's theme song every time when I walk into my shop. First thing I should play.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Just do the Champa thing. Just pat yourself on the back.
There you go. Well, Barry Horowitz, actually.
Barry Horowitz. Me, I think I'm starting to get under the weather a little bit. Like I mentioned right before you came in, I actually had to call into work because I was up all night dry heaving, and that's no bueno. we went to walk in, and I had not the egg drop soup, which is the egg drop soup. The egg drop soup is fucking awesome, but the was it the sour soup? What do you call it? It's like some brown. It's not beef, but it's like sour pork or something like that. And
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name either.
so it's the first time I ever had it. I was like, yeah, this is all right. And then as soon as we got home, I'm like, oh man, that was a mistake. So couldn't really sleep at all because I was dry heaving a lot. I know, TMI. Had to call into work, so coming down with something. I'm feeling maybe a little bit better, but it's still kind of lingering on a little bit. But it is what it is. But nonetheless, we got this show. We got a lot of shit to talk about. We got some shows to review. We got some news to discuss, and if there's. There'll be time to maybe do another game at the end of the show like we did last week.
Yes, absolutely.
I actually brought some trivia myself for you, if you're interested.
Nice.
So, but let's talk about the show that just happened. I know we like to go in order of things, but let's talk about what just happened. AEW Dynamite, which is the Fight for the Fallen show, not really a pay-per-view. I guess it's like a special event or whatever. And
they've been doing it ever since 2019, where they'll donate to a foundation. But the first show was in Jacksonville for like fallen gun victims. They like donated to like that in Jacksonville. So I like the theme of the show. People forget about it. The reason why it's called Fight for the Fallen. So
right. Let me just go over the card real quick, and then we'll just give our thoughts on the show as a whole. The show opened with Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta for the AEW International Championship. You can imagine my excitement for this match. Orange Cassidy won, after which the BCC and who else was it? BCC and
you had the Lucha
Eddie
Brothers
Kingston
out there, Eddie Kingston, the Best Friends.
Right, there you go. So they want to set up their match, which is All In Stadium Stampede. So there you go.
Stadium Stampede, yep.
Next, you had the Kenny Omega sit-down interview with Jim Ross, and just talks about his future, All In. And then Don Callis comes out to talk a little bit of shit, and then his boys come out and take out Jericho. So it looks like it's going to be. Oh no, not Jericho, Kenny. I'm sorry. It's setting up Kenny Omega and Takashita. I keep saying his name wrong. Takashita at All In. So cool.
Well, actually, it's going to be a 6-man tag.
Oh, okay. Never mind. The Gates of Agony, Darby Allin. Oh no, that's not Darby Allin. Gates of Agony versus Darby Allin and Nick Wayne. To which Nick Wayne and I almost call him Arby. Darby Allin won.
Oh, Arby's won.
Yeah, everybody eats at Arby's. To which it goes to the big screen, and it shows now we have Joker Sting back, which I can't lie, I like Joker Sting. It makes me laugh. With Prince Nana, and telling, pretty much hyping up the match at All In, which is going to be a tag team casket match between Sting and Darby against the Embassy. So that should be fun. Next, we have what Justin called maybe one of the worst matches of the year. Jeff Hardy versus Jeff Jarrett in a Texas...
You completely... You skipped the whole MJF stuff.
Oh, wait. Let me go back. So MJF and Adam Cole had another segment to hype up their match, or matches, at All In, where they went to Outback Steakhouse, to which MJF said, in order to take down these Aussies, we have to think like them. So what better way than to go to Outback Steakhouse, which Outback Steakhouse is awesome. It's pricey, but it's awesome. And they wanted to have a really good meal, and they go back to the arena. Adam Cole suggests watching Crocodile Dundee. In his words, he paid $5.99 for the DVD. And then MJF goes on to, show him kangaroo fights on YouTube, and says, the best way to take him out is with a kangaroo punch. Okay. And then later on, they have a segment in ring where MJF talks about his past. coming up in Create a Pro Wrestler, which he was trained by Kurt Hawkins.
Yep.
And
he talks about MJF like every week on the major figure podcast. He talks about him every week. He loves MJF, so that's pretty cool.
Awesome. And then tells a story about who were the two wrestlers he's always wanted to face. One of them was Cody Rhodes, which I don't want to say surprised because he technically found the company, but they talk about Cody Rhodes a lot in AEW, and Adam Cole. And then talks about coming up in the ranks and getting, or actually calling Cody to even be on the first All Out pay-per-view. And gets on the show. I forgot who he wrestled. Who did he wrestle at All Out?
I don't remember. You talking about the very first one?
Very first All Out.
I want to say Sammy Guevara. I don't remember.
I don't know, but he says he lost. And then Tony Khan hired him, and then years later, he's now the world champion, and just happy about the match, telling Adam Cole, just because you're my friend doesn't mean I'm going to take it easy on you. And then Adam Cole says the same thing. And they shake hands, to which Aussie Open comes out and tries to level him, but Adam Cole and MJF end up even in the odds. So
no. I'm sorry to interrupt, but he said you said All Out. It was the first All In pay-per-view, and I think because the All Out, that's where he excuse me, that's where he was there with Cody versus Shawn Spears. As pretty much he was just there ringside with them. But All In, which was 2018, I think it was just in a Battle Royal, to be honest. No, it was Matt Cross. That's who it was. I just found it. Matt Cross.
Right.
Who doesn't do anything now.
Right. So next we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match with Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett. Fucking awful match, just god awful. I'm surprised that my friend here, didn't like it either. Even AEW faithfuls were honest and said, yeah, this was bad. This was like, you could put this on Monday Night Raw and it would still be bad. So it was BAD bad. As much as I love Jeff Hardy, I cringe when I see him wrestle. And then Jeff Jarrett.
No, Jeff looked fine. The match just sucked. It's just the whole gimmick about it.
No, Maurice.
Terrible.
No, Maurice. It's not so bad. It's good. It's just bad. It's so bad.
No, it's terrible. It's up there for. It's probably up there for worst match of the year in any wrestling organization. So it's definitely a candidate.
But it was just BAD bad, and then you had somebody come out dressed as Leatherface and waving a chainsaw around and scaring away.
And having Shivani and Taz selling commentary, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
I thought this was supposed to be the alternative, right?
Right. Guess not. Then you had the Bunny versus Britt Baker in a qualifier to see who's going to be in the Fatal 4-Way for the AEW Women's Championship, and by surprise, Britt Baker won. Because
I wasn't expecting that, I could tell you that.
You weren't expecting that.
No, I wasn't expecting. Why would Britt Baker be in All In at Wembley?
Yeah, I was rooting for the Bunny. I even got a Bunny T-shirt. No, it's actually just a shirt with a bunny on it. And then you had the main event, the Guns versus the Young Bucks. And if you can imagine my chagrin, I was so excited by this match that I actually changed it. I changed the channel.
It was a good for the record. I thought the match was decent. I thought the match was decent, and at the end you had Jay White and Juice Robinson come out and attack the Young Bucks, and then the FTR did the save on them, and FTR cleared the ring, and it looks like they were going to do a Shatter Machine on the Young Bucks, but that didn't happen. So there you go. That's how Dynamite ended.
That was AEW Dynamite. You said you gave it like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10.
I gave it a 6 out of 10. That was not a 7 out of 10, but I thought what they did on the show itself, they built towards at least All In. Even though I don't agree with it, these matches should have been announced already. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little while. I thought the MJF Adam Cole segment, and by the way, I mean, I don't know how you missed this. I mean, your all-time favorite guy, Tony Khan.
Yes.
Yeah, he actually made an appearance, and we'll talk a little bit more about this later. But they made light out of the fact that he's a pushover. So I give them credit. I actually give AEW credit for that, because like if it was WWE, they wouldn't even touch on that at all. They'll just, so the fact that they kind of make fun of themselves right there, like that got a chuckle out of me. But yeah, and I thought the actual promo segment, I thought that is up there for AEW promo of the year. So
just the whole show, just aside from the stuff that was good, like the Adam Cole and MJF stuff, and the Tony Khan stuff is just, honestly I thought it was just somebody maybe doing a voiceover, because I didn't think he'd want to appear on television or in a vignette, more or less. But he came out and I guess made not a mockery, but just made fun of himself. So kudos to him, I guess. But it was a good segment. It was maybe a little too goofy for me, but this stuff works because it's the most over stuff in the company.
That felt like, if that was like placed in WWE, like I wouldn't even think twice about it. Like, man, this just feels like a WWE segment.
Right, it's the alternative, remember? But yeah, why is the bunny in an eliminator match to see who's going to be in a championship match at All In? Like, why? Also, since we're going to rant, I might as well get it started. What's the point of this eliminator tournament and having the fucking women's champion having to qualify to be in the match? That doesn't make any fucking sense. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I just think that I think a lot of people are looking at it too literally. It was a world title match on Dynamite, because if Shida would have lost, right, then she wouldn't gone on to fate. She wouldn't gone to All In. The new champion would have. I wouldn't consider that as a tournament per se. I get what you're saying, but it's just a title match. They should just advertise it just as a title match versus, this is a tournament match. Like, no, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, did they already plan that before she won? Like, was that the case, or
no?
Okay, then what the fuck? But yeah, just again, why is the bunny in it? Don't get it. I mean, if they're gonna do the whole bye thing, like again, Tony Storm is gonna get a bye. Okay, whatever. The world champion should automatically get a bye. And I know you're trying to make the case of, they should have just advertised it as a world title, as a women's championship match, and they should have. But the fact that they were like, "Oh, this is an eliminator tournament thingy majig," it's like,
so let me ask this, just being devil's advocate. If they would have put Shida in the match, let's just say, automatically put Shida in the match, and she would have lost the title, then that means that Fatal 4-Way wouldn't be a title match at that point then.
Yeah, probably.
It would just be a random Fatal 4-Way, and there would be no title match.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But, I don't know, just one of many things. But, yeah, this show didn't really do it for me. Again, I'm the AEW hater, so I gotta be that guy in the conversation. This has superseded WCW 2000, and this is crossing over into bad TNA territory. Like, just
I wouldn't go that fucking far. Okay, I wouldn't go that like bad WCW 2000. You had bad booking and bad matches. Like terrible fucking matches, terrible fucking gimmicks. Like right now, what's really going on is like we'll get into a little bit more once we hit the stories up. But right now, what they're doing is no long-term storytelling. That's what's going on, and certain people. I'm not gonna get into it yet, but certain people who have influence, and plus the boss not being the boss. You know what I mean? Like, WCW 2000 was different. Yeah, like fucking Kevin Nash booking shit, and yeah, fucking like Oklahoma, you know, pinata, you know, like
Cheer.
You want to know how many title changes were in the year 2000 WCW for the WCW Championship?
Wasn't like 25 or 20 something.
Yeah, I believe it was 25. Yes, like
I saw a video on
that.
it. Yeah.
I mean, that was probably OSW maybe, but but I understand what you're trying to say, but that, like, no, no.
I mean, TNA. Let's look at it. You know, you have an owner / booker that can't keep her house in order. Dixie.
Well, we're talking about TNA or WCW.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's crossing over into bad TNA territory. You got Dixie. Let's see. You have bad gimmicks. You have matches that don't really make any sense. It's like, for example, when they tried to make Eric Young a main eventer for no reason.
I mean, that was I don't support it because I thought Eric Young didn't deserve a title, but like, what version of TNA are we talking about? Like, are we talking about like 2010, 2013, 2015? Like, what era of TNA are we talking about?
It has to be in between, either before or around, or not. Let me rephrase that. It has to be on or around when fucking Hogan and Bischoff came in.
No.
Yes.
No. I don't agree with that. I don't agree, because you want to know why? Because a lot of people, there's a lot of fans that started watching TNA. Now, don't get me wrong, there was still some not great stuff in there, but I think this is the best way to explain AEW right now. AEW right now, to me, is in its own entity right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't compare it to anything else for what I've seen, because you got some good things on the shows, right? You do got some, to me at least, and probably to the general AEW audience, there are some good things on the shows, right? But I don't think, a lot of times, I don't think is what we see on the show, for the most part, you know, not counting that Texas Chainsaw Massacre match tonight. But a lot of stuff is fairly good for the most part. I'm thinking that it is more on the lines of what's going on as far as the talent, certain talents being influences, we'll just say, to Tony Khan, and Tony Khan not being a boss.
Okay. And in some ways, that kind of sounds like WCW 2000 somewhat, where you had Hogan, who was, you know, like to flex that.
But WCW 2000 had terrible wrestling and fucking, you know, bad booking back and forth and fucking shitty gimmicks. Like, AEW doesn't have that portion. So I think the portion that's probably comparable is maybe like the boss not being a boss. And that the certain talents being certain control. I think that's probably the aspect. I think the main difference between the two is that AEW has good wrestling, has, you know, in some cases they do have some good storylines in some aspects, and WCW 2000 had nothing. It was just all around bad.
I guess I'll look at it as like it's like a healthy and toxic mix of both.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So yeah, that was Dynamite, people. So let's start back from Friday. So Friday Night SmackDown from August 11th. Let's just run through the card real quick. The show opened with Charlotte Flair and Asuka went to no contest after Damage Control came in and fucked everything up. So what happened after that? AJ Styles with Michin versus Karrion Kross and Scarlett. This probably was the best match I've seen Kross have in a while.
That was a really, I won't say really good match, but it was a fun match. I thought the match was pretty good.
And I like the spot where I don't want to say it was Kross or AJ. It might have been just a combination of both, where there was kind of a botch on one spot, and AJ just kind of like fixed it midair, essentially. But good match. AJ won, which I was a little kind of confused. I'm like, why can't Cross get a win at least? And
well, he already did. He already did beat AJ once already.
Right. To which somebody kind of reminded me that AJ supposedly is positioned to be another contender for Reigns, which I get that. We need opponents for Roman until that eventual rematch with Cody. So fine. And Cross cut a promo. Well, not really a promo. It's a vignette that he put online where he teased that he's getting his own faction. To which, cool. I mean, personally I prefer him in the Judgment Day, but they want to give him his faction. So hopefully it's not just a faction because we need something for Cross to do. Hopefully it's a faction because they have faith in him and they want to build him up as a star. So we'll see how that works out. Let's see. So Edge came out and talked about his appearance this Friday on SmackDown, which is going to be in Toronto, and hyped it up and picked his opponent, who's going to be Sheamus, who the two have never crossed paths. I mean, I think they've been a part of matches together. I think they were in the I think it was like a 5-pack or 6-pack challenge at like Night of Champions, if I'm not mistaken, in 2010. But they never had like an actual one-on-one match together, which is crazy to think about. So this Friday in Toronto, it's going to be Edge and Sheamus, which the rumor going into that show is that it's going to be Edge's retirement match. To which I don't know. I mean, they haven't hyped it up as a retirement match, but Edge's trainer, who's it, Ron Hutchinson? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Said that Edge is supposedly going to retire this Friday. So I don't know. What do you think?
I think it may be his last WWE match, but I don't think it's his last match in wrestling.
So you think he's going to go to ... AEW?
I didn't say that. I just said I don't think it's his last match in wrestling.
Well, I mean, you say wrestling, so do you see him going to another Fed?
I'm just saying I don't think it's his last match in wrestling.
God damn it! No, I mean, okay, all right. I know what you mean. So after which you have LA Knight against Top Dollar. LA Knight over as fuck, beats Dollar because of course. Michael Cole just hates Top Dollar. And then next, we were supposed to get the United States Championship match with Austin Theory and Escobar. To which Theory took out Escobar for the match, and Rey Mysterio pulled a Hulk Hogan and say, "No, brother, I'll take your spot, brother, because I'm your friend, brother.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside. Yeah, Rey Mysterio took his spot, so it ended up being Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the United States title. Decent match. Pretty much a by-the-numbers match, but decent match nonetheless. Mysterio beats Theory to win the United States title. To which, again, I'm kind of on your side of thinking when it comes to stuff like this. I kind of hope it's not a thing of Escobar is jealous. I like to look at it as more like Escobar just beats him because he's the guy. Because I forgot who I was talking about this with. I don't know if it was like RJ or Monty. To which I was like, if Escobar turns on Ray, doesn't that make Ray look like an asshole? And that proves Dom was right about Ray.
Yeah, this one here, I 100% agree because, Escobar, Escobar, he has a right to be jealous. In this particular situation, he can feel a little bitter, and I think he is going to turn heel. Not saying that I want it to happen. Not saying that that's the right thing to do. I'm just saying that that's probably the direction that they're probably going to go in. They're probably going to turn Escobar heel, and I think, and I actually think that it's probably the right decision to do. Just because of the fact that I think that him as a babyface, I think the crowd, obviously, he gets reactions because he's with Ray, but he's going to get even a bigger reaction for turning Rey Mysterio and taking the United States title and actually start to become that upper mid-card guy eventually that I know that they can, build around him. So I think that's probably the right decision if they end up doing that, so.
All right, fair enough. I do want to see that because I like Escobar.
Yeah.
And Ray at this point is the guy who needs to put over young talent. Like he does, you know. And
I think this is all deliberate. I think this is all deliberate. If the end game is to get Escobar the United States title and be, you know, like more up on the card, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Exactly. And now we get to, and that was the main event match of the show. Now we get to the ending segment, which is the Bloodline, of course. Roman comes out to gloat, talk a little bit of shit, and then Jimmy comes out to no music, which I liked. I enjoyed that. Coming out through the crowd, Roman tells him, you know, do you want, like, what do you want? I can get you anything. Get you money, get you a brand new car, a yacht. And Jimmy just telling him, you know, listen, what happened on Saturday had nothing to do with you. Okay, good. Because, again, to me, it's just like, okay, make this make sense. If Jimmy just says this is between me and Jay, this has nothing to do with you, this isn't bloodline shit. Like, okay, fine, just make it make sense. And then Jay comes out and just tells Jimmy, listen, before we throw away 37 years of our relationship, of our brotherhood, tell me why you did what you did. And then Jimmy just tells Jay, listen, I did it because I love you, because I'm afraid I don't want you to turn out like a manipulative asshole like Roman Reigns. You know, and of course Roman's facials are just like, what? To which me and RJ were talking about it. We call bullshit on that because it's like, if you're jealous, you're not going to admit that you're jealous. So we all knew that apology was bullshit.
I thought the argument was weak.
Okay, how so?
Because I think that, like, to me right now, I think the Bloodline and this story, the wheels are spinning. And they have an idea what direction that they want to go in, but, like, to me, it's like, oh, it's because I love you. It's like, well, we already heard that from Roman on several parts of the Bloodline storyline already. When he was talking to Jay originally, he was like, I gotta take you, you know, I had to, you know, put you out to make you tell me because I love you. I love this family. It feels like in a way, not the same exact thing, obviously, but kind of a way, it feels like they're kind of rehashing that. And it feels lazy to me that that's the reason why Jimmy turned on Jay, right? They could have done something a lot more. They could have just explained like this, like, hey, the reason why I took you out was because I thought I could be the tribal chief. I think I could be number one. Why are you the one that's always, you know, being positioned as the guy? You know, it's you and Roman. It's never about me. I never get my fair shake. You know what I mean? Everyone thinks that you're the better. Like, even when we talk about it, who do we talk about all the time? Jay, right? Jay Uso. He's the one. You know, he's the better of the two. That can be Jimmy's, you know, motivation behind it. Not just because, oh, I love you. It's like, it's weak. It's a weak argument. Like make it more real than just, oh, I love you. Like, make it more of something that's like, okay, well, you know, hey, you know, Jimmy turned on Jay was kind of stupid, but hey, at least there is a strong story behind it. But to me, it's like, this is weak, completely weak.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, especially judging by what happened at the end of the segment where Jay, you know, super kicks everybody in the ring and he super kicks Jimmy and turns to the camera and says, I'm out the Bloodline, I'm out SmackDown, I'm out WWE, deuces, and he leaves through the crowd. So, I mean, I think we talked about this on the show last week where one of the articles that you had was, you know, creative apparently wants to build towards Jay and Jimmy at Mania. And I talked about this RJ too afterwards where, you know, it seems like a Triple H thing to do this long-term build-up until Mania, but I don't think Vince is going to want to do that long-term booking, which, I mean, he's in the past he's done it before, but then we're not talking about the same Vince McMahon from like 1997, 96 or whatever. So I personally wouldn't mind seeing it, having, you know, that build-up and, you know, to Mania, and then, you know, build up Jimmy in front of the crowd and, you know, have him be not essentially that new guy, but just kind of rebuild him in front of the, you know, fans' eyes, because it's like you just said, all we talk about is Jay. What about Jimmy? What about me? What about Jimmy? Like he can almost do like a Raven thing of like,
what about
Jimmy?
me? What about Javen? He's Javen.
Quote the Javen, nevermore.
Nevermore.
And just come out to that Nirvana thing from WCW. That'd be awesome. No, God damn it, that was fucking good. Not gonna lie. Just come out with the jacket and everything. No,
but I know, right? Just like
just rebuild them, and all of a sudden, all the crowd, chanting, "Fuck you, Jimmy," "You're an asshole," "You're just jealous of Jay." Finally, that makes them snap, and then that's when you get the real Jimmy. Telling Jay, I'm the older brother. I'm like what, 20 minutes older than you. It's supposed to be about me. I was supposed to be the star. I was the All-American in high school. I'm Mr. Prom King. I'm the one who's got my shit together. I'm the one married to the hottest woman on the planet. And blah blah blah. And then that's when Jimmy can be like, I had to pick up the slack when you were gone. I'm not the one who got 2 DUIs. Oh, like you can, get personal with that shit. So I can see where you're coming from, where you said, the promo, the argument was weak, but I think that was kind of the point, because, it's like what RJ mentioned is that, if someone's jealous, they're not going to admit that they're jealous. They're going to admit that they're jealous in the heat of the moment, without saying I'm straight up jealous. So, I think from the way it looks, Jay might come back at, like, say, the Royal Rumble or whatever. But then there's also rumors that
he's coming back before. He's definitely coming back before then.
No, I was about to get into that the supposed main event of Survivor Series is going to be all the whole bloodline. So I don't know, but I mean, I would like it to be the case of like they built that up until Mania, but I don't know.
No, this cannot. No. They cannot have their first match at Mania. I'm sorry. That's no. That'll be terrible. Unless if they do the Survivor Series match and they write off Jay with an injury angle, right? And he doesn't come back until like the Rumble. Okay, maybe we got something there. But if Jay's gonna be on TV every single week, no, I don't want to see it. At that point in time, I don't even want to see the match. If Jay and Jimmy's gonna be on TV every week, I don't even want to see the match at Mania. Like, it has to happen before if they do that. So,
all right, fair enough. All right, and then like say that Fatal 4-Way match happens and that they do an injury angle with Jay where Jimmy just fucks him up. Do you think that's the best way for Jimmy to just go full-blown heel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right. And then, okay, yeah, all right. Good. I like that. So, that was SmackDown, people. SmackDown was good. Wasn't like amazing or great. It was good. It was enjoyable. You can tell where the Triple H booking lies now that Vince is at home where he should be. The very next night, it's Saturday night, is for fighting. AEW Collision. Let's see, the show opened with Ricky Starks coming out saying he's been suspended for 30 days for attacking Ricky Steamboat. And he also mentioned that he has a manager's license, so he would still be on the show every week. So we got that.
I love that. Like, I haven't heard the term manager's license on a pro wrestling show in over 25 years. Like, God, I love that. I love that. But here's my thing. I know he has a manager's license, but he just got screwed out of All In and All Out to wrestle. Unless if they lift this suspension before then.
What if he becomes Samoa Joe's manager?
That's fine. That's okay. But like, I want to see Ricky wrestle.
I mean, I do too because I love Ricky. But
you know what I mean? Like, they probably should have thought about. I mean, maybe they already did. We're about to get. We're telling into some more AEW talk here in a moment. But unless if the if like the suspension gets lifted or whatnot, then cool. Then okay, I'm fine with that. But as of right now, Ricky is not going to wrestle at All In or All Out because I think the 30 days is up the week after All Out,
which sucks ass. Because again, love Ricky. He should definitely have a spot on one of those shows. But what the fuck? Like, I don't know. First match of the night, you had the Acclaim versus the Iron Savages. The Acclaim won, and yeah, I don't know. What'd you think about the match?
I mean, it was a typical, a showcase match, jobber match. Good to see that the Acclaimed are trying to get some momentum back under them with wins. So getting wins on TV helps out a lot. So I wasn't offended by it.
All right. Didn't those guys used to be Bear Country, or am I confusing them with somebody?
I believe so. I believe so.
It's funny because CM Punk called him Bear County. I was like, he said Bear County. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they were Bear Country, but the match happened so quick. Like, I mean, wasn't paying. I was just paying attention to the Acclaim just being their ass, pretty much.
Next, he had a tag match with a women's tag match, actually. Nightingale and Statlander versus Diamante and Martinez. Martinez and Diamante won. Enjoyable match. You had 4 women in there that knew what they were doing. I mean, we both like Nightingale. She's awesome. And I'm also a fan of Mercedes. So, what did you think about the match?
It was a fun match. Statlander looked good. I think she's underrated. I don't think she gets enough credit on how good she is. But yeah, another match that didn't offend me. It was by the numbers, and it was good for a TV match.
Next, you had Samoa Joe, the Ring of Honor television champion, the King of Television, as he called himself, versus Andrew Everett in a squash. Samoa Joe gets the win, gets on the mic, and calls out CM Punk, saying, you didn't accept my challenge, so now I have to convince you. After which you had Christian Cage and Luchasaurus come out. Christian Cage continuing to hold the television title, or not television, TBS title, I'm sorry, and TNT Championship. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. Luchasaurus is the rightful TNT champion. Says, there will be no more open challenges. Arn Anderson comes out with his son Brock and decides to make a challenge. It happens. Luchasaurus versus Brock Anderson is incomplete. Or no, that was the... Wait, what fucking match am I confusing this with? No, Luchasaurus got the win. Sorry. Decent match. Darby Allin comes out to make the save. So Darby Allin's in a feud with both Swerve and Christian, which is odd. But I don't know. Thoughts on the match or matches?
I'm glad that AEW at times they do dual feuds where one wrestler or a group or whatever, they can be in one feud or they can be in 2 feuds at the same time with like 2 completely different parties. So that's one thing I do like. But this match here wasn't. Again, like this whole night, I mean, nothing was offensive about tonight. Now about Collision. Now I will say this: to me, this was the weakest Collision. But still, with that being said, it was still a good show.
Sorry, I had to cough. Yeah, I mean that's usually the case with Collision. The show's much better structured than Dynamite. Most of the time.
It's more easily digestible. Say that 3 times fast.
Easily digestible. You can watch Collision and kind of understand what's going on, whereas Dynamite, it's like, what the fuck? But, yeah, that happened. Next, you had House of Black versus CMFTR for the Trios titles. I believe this is the main event. Yes, this is the main event.
It was. Yeah.
Fun match. With all the talent, you had the ring, you had Aleister Black and CM Punk wrestling for the first time. So it was interesting seeing these two wrestle because they match up pretty well. They kind of look the same somewhat.
Yeah, their styles are similar too.
So fun match. Good talent in the ring. So there was no way these two could have stunk it up. During the match, CM Punk somehow ends up in the crowd, to which Samoa Joe chokes him out, and House of Black got the win and retained their titles. And I guess setting up the all but confirmed rematch with Samoa Joe and Punk at All Out. I'm sorry, in Wembley Stadium. So yeah, looking forward to that. What'd you think about the main event?
My main event, Samoa Joe attacking CM Punk. It made sense as far as what how they were telling the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily agree with the match happening at All In, though. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Right. So that was Collision, people. Decent show as usual. I
gave it like a 7.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give it a 7 too. So now we're on to Monday Night Raw. The show opens with surprise, surprise, a Judgment Day. To which JD McDonough comes out to kind of ruffle the feathers. What's going on with Finn Balor and Damian. And Maurice says he was actually... Maurice, you were at Raw, right? Alright, so...
nice.
Maurice, can you tell me why the fucking Winnipeg crowd just didn't react to anything? What was up with that crowd?
Y'all didn't come off well on TV.
I'm sorry, Maurice. I don't mean to pin that on you, but it's like... Yeah, they reacted to Dom. Of course, you reacted to Dom, but it's like,
yeah. I mean, y'all reacted to Seth coming out, Cody's woe, and Dom, and for the most part, thing felt like, to me at least, it felt lukewarm.
I mean, even the Cody woe was kind of, it wasn't as big as it usually is.
It's about average. It's about the average woe, I thought. In my opinion,
it didn't have that luster that you get with a whoa. It was more like a whoa. I don't know. I'm sorry, Maurice. I don't mean to lump you in, but it's just the Winnipeg crowd was.
I mean, he's only one person.
I blame this on Maurice. It's all Maurice's fault. No, but first match of the night, you had Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough to exact revenge from last week after JD took him out. Decent match. Zayn got the win, of course. And what else happened on the show? Chad.
Whoa. So we'll stop there for a moment. Great. This is a great showcase match for JD McDonough, right? Not his debut match on the main roster at all, but this is his first major, memorable match on the main roster, right? Now, a lot of people will probably think that I will say that I didn't like the outcome of JD McDonough losing. But Sami Zayn has been losing on TV a lot lately. And I think that him still being technically one half of the tag team champions, I guess, even they haven't really addressed that. But he needed a win, and he got a win here. And at the end of the day, If JD McDonough would have won, it would have helped JD McDonough and would have hurt Sami Zayn.
Right.
With this here, like with Sami Zayn winning, it still helps JD McDonough because he looked fucking fantastic in the match and it helped Sami Zayn. So I thought it was the right outcome.
Right. Sami was due for a win. And, either way, this helps JD. This was essentially his audition, for the casuals who didn't always watch NXT. So, and eventually he's either going to be brought into the Judgment Day or him and Finn are going to do their own thing. But, we'll talk about later on the show. Gunther came out with Imperium to talk a little bit of shit. Gunther, again, great at everything else. The promo thing is not for him. I mean, he's not terrible at talking, but it's like,
I thought he did fine.
I mean, he was good. I mean, I wouldn't say he was terrible, but it's like the promo thing isn't always. It doesn't always work for him. I'll just put it that way. So,
I mean, he's gonna need a talking from the audience if we expect him to be where we think he should be, which is world champion. He's gonna need And I think he's fine. I think it is part of his character to be, not necessarily soft-spoken, but to be like, because he didn't get a lot of what chance. I didn't hear no what chance at all from him because the crowd respects him. He commands that attention. Now, if he was getting like what chance and all that shit, then I think that would have been different.
Right. No,
I also like how he stands on top of the announce table too.
I thought that was cool.
He commands attention. I love it.
I am the ring general, and I demand your attention. So he comes out to talk a little bit of shit about Chad Gable. Chad comes out to talk a little bit of shit. And then Chad, or not challenges, but I guess there was already a match in place between him and Giovanni Vinci to kind of, I guess, showcase Giovanni Vinci, since people kind of look at him as the other guy in Imperium. They had a decent match.
Giovanni Vinci is probably pound for pound the best wrestler in WWE.
Right. I mean, he has a good look. So he has a good look, and he's good in the ring. So him and Chad had a pretty good match.
Is good. The best pound for pound. I think he's as a pound for pound wrestler. I think he's better than Seth Rollins. I think he's better than, as far as in ring. I'm not talking about promo skill, total package. I'm talking about in ring. I think he's probably the best in WWE. So
all right. And then afterwards, Gunther, was pissed off and he called Otis. So him and Otis had a match to which Gunther got the win. Kaiser is still macking on Maxine Dupree, which is funny. And then we move on to Drew McIntyre.
I don't know how Tiffany Stratton likes that.
She probably thinks it's cute, so I don't know. But I digress. I think Tiffany's hotter than Maxine, but they're both equally hot, but I think Tiffany's hotter. We go to the back with the Drew McIntyre promo, to which the interviewer asks him what's next. Before he's able to get a word out, Matt Riddle comes in to interrupt him and doesn't even let him talk and says, we should totally be in a tag team, go after those tag belts, yada, yada, yada. To which Drew, tells him, if you can't find a partner, I'll consider it. And then, surprise, surprise, he ends up being his partner, and they get the win against the Viking Raiders. They get to the back, and they talk about their win. The New Day come out with chairs from that meme, because that's what they do. And
we talked about on the Q&A show on how I hate, there's some social media tropes I hate and overexposure to memes. This was okay. This was okay because it was like to me, it was subtle. It was just subtle, they just bought the chairs, if you know, pretty much, right? But they didn't really say, they didn't really be like, oh, I'm here to beat you up, or because of this reason. I don't know, but yeah, I thought it was okay.
And then they set up a match for next week to, I guess, as a number one contenders match, I'm assuming. Next we have
before we continue, Drew McIntyre, they're telegraphing a heel turn from.
Right. Yeah,
I know. Well, yeah, I know. Last week I kind of mentioned that he, I don't know if he wants to turn heel. He should turn heel. He should 100% turn heel because that is another opponent for Seth Rollins. However, I know that he's mentioned, or there's been rumors that he's mentioned that it has to make sense for him. So if he turns heel on Matt Riddle, hopefully this leads to him getting a title shot versus Seth. So.
Right. Yeah. And I like Drew, so let's see what they have for him. Next we have a package for Indy Hartwell, which, good, because I don't know if we had this conversation where it's like, if you have all these people on the show and you assume that, people watched NXT, and that's not the case. So do video packages on these people and make them interesting to the casuals. And that's what they did for Indy Hartwell. I like Indy. I thought she was, was she amazing in the ring? Not necessarily, but she was, I don't even want to say she was passable in the ring, because that almost sounds like I'm making her sound like she was not as good. I thought she was good in the ring. I'll put it that way. She was good.
I'll say she's passable. She's improving,
right.
But right now she's passable. Passable's not bad. Like passable means that you know that you don't suck in the ring.
Right.
You know what I mean, you can put a match together. But she's improving for sure.
She's good and she's likable. She has that likable, white meat baby face. She's the stomp and clap baby face. I'll put it that way. So they build her up in a match against Rhea, two fellow Aussies, Rhea getting the win, after which you had Candice LeRae come out and help out Hartwell. So I'm guessing we're getting a match with Rhea and LeRae maybe next week, or I don't know. But
so you know what's funny about this show? We got Candice LeRae, we got Indy Hartwell, we got Piper Niven. We got Tommaso Ciampa, just all seem to be back on TV. Interesting. Mm-hmm. I wonder who made that call.
It was the game. They're back on his television. While Vince is, dealing with harassment lawsuits and, spinal surgery. Yeah. That hurt my throat. But Piper Niven. Let's get to her. She is Chelsea Green's new tag team partner. So she is now one half of the women's tag team champions. So good.
How you feel about that?
I'm fine with it.
So you're okay with just someone randomly just taking the title, say I'm your tag team partner, and they become champion?
I mean, well, because she was doing the social media thing of send in your applications and be my new partner, which I knew honestly. I mean, obviously they weren't going to pick Joe 5980 on Twitter to be her new partner, but I thought that was interesting. But I don't know, it was one of those things where I missed the segment of Piper coming in and just saying I'll be your new partner, and it's okay. That was kind of my reaction. I'm all right, I can't say I hate it. It was kind of what do you call it? Underwhelming, somewhat.
They probably should have ran with that. Chelsea's Got Talent. If this would have led to Piper Niven being one half the champion, fine, so be it, right? But to me, it just felt lazy,
right?
That they just didn't want to put in all the effort. They kind of put a little effort into it and it was getting a little traction on social media. They probably should have let that go for at least 2 weeks just to see where it goes. But they didn't. I mean, for God's sakes, if this happened in AEW, I think we'll be shamed all over this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So let's just call it what it is. This is just bad, no matter where it's at. AEW, WWE, Impact, doesn't matter. I thought this was not good. Now I'm not talking shit about Piper Niven. I love Piper Niven, and if this is the way that she can get her a first title, so be it. Right, happy for her. She deserves it. I just think that if this was going to be the end result, at least give it a couple of weeks to let it, to see how this social media thing goes. And also on top of that as well, I will say this whole situation right now, because it's the women's tag team titles. I honestly think that they should have got rid of these titles long goddamn time ago. Right? These titles don't mean shit. They never meant anything. They never meant anything at all. These titles suck. But I will say this. This is going to be a very big spotlight on Chelsea, which is good. I want her to get that spotlight. I want her to get that spotlight. There's going to be a very big spotlight on Chelsea to see on what she can do and to see to show WWE, hey, this is what I can do. Because before Sonya Deville, she was the veteran in the group, right? Now Piper Niven and Chelsea, they're kind of equals now, but Chelsea's probably gonna be the official leader of the two. So I'm kind of waiting. I'm really intrigued to see what they do with Chelsea and kind of see where to go from here, because Chelsea has a very, very big opportunity to become I won't say a huge star, but she'll become one of those stars where at the end of the day, where she's gonna be very looked upon and very what's word I'm looking for, like very where people are gonna be anticipating for her to come out, kind of like an LA Knight, kind of like like the Usos or whatever the case may be. So we'll see what she does. But I think it's a very big opportunity for Chelsea. So
I think she can rise to the occasion.
I think so too. I definitely think so too. So I'm happy for Chelsea. I'm happy for Piper. I didn't like how it was executed.
She got herself over when she came back doing the Karen gimmick, so it's working. And again, I'm happy for Piper. Let's see what they can do. Next, you had Nakamura come out and explain his actions, why he attacked Seth Rollins, and he was speaking in his native tongue, which
getting what chance?
To which Seth came out and just told him straight up, "I'll give you a title shot with no arguments." Okay, more lazy booking. And Shin whispers something in Seth's ear, to which Seth has this "what the fuck" look on his face, and then right before Seth can scratch his ass, Nakamura lays him out with a Kinshasa. So, from what it's looking, the main event for Payback is we're getting Nakamura and Seth, which should be a good match. I mean, but like you said, it's just filler. But so
I will say this for Nakamura and Seth. Does anyone really want to boo Nakamura? No. Okay. So you want to know what will help get Nakamura boos? Because as of right now, love Nakamura. His English is better than most other foreign wrestlers, but I still think that's still of a weaker side to Nakamura. Have him hire a translator. Have him hire a translator. That would get so much fucking heat. And just be like, well, Mr. Nakamura said, and basically like the casual fans like, well, this guy's think he's too good for us. So, he wants to hire a fucking translator. I think that can give him a little heat there if you were to do something like that.
So who would you bring in as his translator?
It don't matter. It doesn't matter who they bring in. They just need somebody to understand Japanese. They can just get Joe Schmo off the street. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, remember when Abyss was like AJ Styles, like lawyer? Well, he wasn't his lawyer. What was Abyss during the pandemic?
He was basically the guy working in creative, essentially.
For who?
I think he was just. I don't really think he had a role. Really, I think it was more just like he was. I guess kind of the Adam Pearce, or not even really Adam Pearce, but just
he was like he literally was there for like a couple of weeks with AJ Styles.
No. I do remember, but it's like I don't really think he had an exact position. I just remember him literally showing up in a vignette, and I think he wrote on a whiteboard with magic marker, and AJ is like, "Magic marker," and he's trying to like wipe it off. I'm like, that was funny.
I like his personal assistant. But anyway, regardless though, like that's my point. It can just be anybody. It doesn't have to be anyone. It doesn't have to be like a wrestler or anything or something from NXT. You can use like you can bring in local talent each week. You don't have to use somebody from the main roster for that, but my point is just have him have a fucking translator. And I think that could have give him a little bit more heat, but I digress.
No, and I agree that could work. Next, you had Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus, singles match, and then double count out with them fighting in the merch table. To which Adam Pearce tells Becky and Trish, and the next match you have will be a steel cage match. So
terrible fucking match. I don't want to see another fucking match between these two. That was a terrible fucking match.
Oh, it's happening.
Terrible.
It's happening. It's
happening. I know it's happening. But it's still a terrible fucking match. Like it is awful fucking match. This feud sucks. This is probably up there for worst feud of the year, in my opinion. And remember what I said months ago. what the fuck are they even fighting for? I mean, they kind of made a little bit of a story now, but the fact that they couldn't even get onto fucking SummerSlam, a fucking legend and the fucking possibly the biggest women's wrestler, biggest draw in the last, probably ever, maybe. Becky Lynch is definitely up there as far as the biggest women's wrestling draw ever. The fact that those two cannot get onto SummerSlam, that's a fucking issue. That should tell you something.
Right. Now we're on to the main event. Yeah, Cody Rhodes versus Finn Balor. We've seen these two wrestle multiple times, and they work well together, so you can't really expect a bad match out of these two. Wasn't really anything to write home about. Cody got the win. The aftermath of the match was JD McDonough joining in on the beatdown of Cody, Sammy, and I believe that's it. Yeah, just Cody and Sammy. And, just Judgment Day standing strong, to which JD is on the outside looking in. Just okay Raw. I mean, the crowd, again, we talked about the crowd. The crowd was kind of, sitting on their hands, politely clapping. But,
I thought Raw, it wasn't a bad show. It was not a bad show. It wasn't a good show. It was just boring. The show was boring. Like, a lot of the stuff is like a wash, rinse, repeat of what we've seen. There were some different wrinkles, but, like the JD McDonough stuff and the Piper Niven stuff, if you want to call it that. But there's really nothing. Like, I could have just skipped this whole show, just watch highlights on YouTube. I didn't need 3 hours of this.
All right.
Okay. But I will say this. Obviously, there is going to be a match at Payback. Let me ask you this. There's two things here. One, do you think that this situation going on that's happening in the main event, do you think that's going to lead to Survivor Series and War Games? That's number one. And number two, do you think that JD McDonough eventually officially joins the Judgment Day?
I mean, it's kind of funny how this time last year it was the Sami Zayn and Bloodline thing, and now a year later it's JD and it's the JD McDonough Judgment Day thing, to which, Damian, kind of playing the role of Jay, doesn't want JD, who's somewhat playing the role of Sammy, doesn't want him in the group, but Finn, who's being Roman essentially, is or not. Yeah, Roman, who's just vouching for him, like, I want him in the group. So I think eventually he'll join, because again, why not? I think it'd be good, and then that continues the heat going on with Damian and Finn. As far as War Games, it's interesting that you brought that up, because I saw a fan made poster of, I guess, a match that the fans would like to see for War Games. So it would be Judgment Day, obviously Damian, Finn, JD, and Dom versus Cody's team, which would be Cody, the tag champs, Sammy and Kevin Owens, and Brock Lesnar. Because Cody,
I don't think it's gonna be Brock. I think it's gonna be Seth.
Okay. Okay. Fine. I
don't think it's gonna be Brock, because if Brock is in there, that team should not fucking lose whatsoever.
I mean, they won't, but no. Hear me out. I think realistically, it'll end up being Seth if Seth doesn't find another opponent. But realistically, I think it'll be Seth. But I think for Cody, the buildup is that Judgment Day has the odds in their favor, and Cody can't find another tag team partner because Seth is busy. Let's say Seth is busy. Let's say he has another opponent.
If Seth is busy, they should not announce Brock Lesnar, have him be a surprise entrant. That will be great.
That's what I meant. Cody can be I called in a favor. They can do a segment with him and Sammy and Cody where he's like, I found a partner. I called in a favor. And then Kevin and Sammy are like, who? He's like, you'll find out. So it can be like the Survivor Series or not the Survivor Series, but the Raw heading into Survivor Series where he reveals Brock as the new partner, to which...
No, I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even do that. I'll just do it at Survivor Series. Fuck the fuck the reveal like the week prior. No, that it makes it more eventful if it have his right at Survivor Series. But no, like that's the only way I would want to see Brock. But I think,
okay. Now I just thought about it, like you just said, like Judgment Day's team is full in the cage, and Cody's team is about to be full, and like Damian and Finn, even like Dom are talking shit, like where's your boy at? Where's your boy? All of a sudden you hear that wow. It's Brock coming out, and the whole place, because I think it's gonna be in Chicago this year, right?
Chicago, yeah, exactly.
That whole place is gonna go ape shit bananas as soon as Brock comes out as the fourth guy. And like you said,
it'll be louder than fucking Moxley coming out.
Oh God! Don't
in AEW.
Don't talk about Moxley. But yeah, Brock coming out, like they can even do something with Rhea, where Rhea tries to get involved and gets in Brock's face, and Brock's like, "You know who I am, right?" So I don't know. I could see Brock just being like, "I don't give a fuck. I'll F5 your ass." That'll be funny. But yeah, if that's the case, Survivor Series is gonna be fucking huge. Like that War Games is actually be fucking huge. But so I was at the movies last night, and I didn't get a chance to watch NXT, but I know what happened. Wesley versus Dijak. Wesley won, and then they're setting up Heat Wave next week. The main event being Wesley versus Hayes. Which I'm happy that match is happening. I'm just a little curious why they didn't wait till No Mercy, which is going to be next month.
I think it's too far for a build.
So do you think that this is going to be a match that has like a fuck finish, and then they're going to have another match?
It may, yeah. I'm really trying to think, like, realistically, like, who else Mel can go up against that will make sense, but,
Dijak?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like, it'll be a great match. Don't get me wrong. It'll be a fucking fantastic match, but it's like we already know the end result. We somewhat know the end result of fucking Hayes versus Wesley too, but that's different. That's like fucking like it's like Omega and Ospreay. Like it's gonna be a fuck. I'm not comparing. Obviously, well you may, but I'm not comparing Omega and Ospreay versus Wesley and Carmelo Hayes, but that's that's gonna be like a fucking like match of the year contender type of thing. You know what I mean? But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how what happens after Heat Wave.
All right. But what'd you think about the rest of the show?
We're talking about NXT now.
Yeah.
It was okay. So you had Trick Williams versus Drew Gulak. Williams is super athletic, super green. He needs time. But the fact that he's on TV, getting his matches, getting his reps in, hey, I can totally dig. You had the D'Angelo family versus the Dyat Schism. Obviously, the D'Angelo family won. So, but there, Ivy Now came out and supposedly in mask, you saw the Creed brothers come back and attack the Dyad, so there's that. Thea Hale, which I'm loving her character work. She's showing both ranges as a face and as a heel, potentially. She's just great. Like she's going through her whole Julia Hart phase right now. But she did have her match. She did have her match against. I was gonna say Blair Davenport, but against JC Jane. But JC Jane won. And and speaking of, let me go back because I totally forgot about this. We were talking about the women's tag team championships, right?
Right.
You want to know who would be great for a great partner for Chelsea Green?
Who?
JC Jane.
Yes.
You want to know who would be even a better partner for Chelsea Green?
Huh.
If they can get it done, and if she's ready, Mandy Rose. I'm I'm just saying. I had that in my notes and I forgot to mention that. So yes, yes. But anyway, loving what they're doing with Thea Hell. Loving what they're doing with Thea Hell right now. She's gonna eventually turn heel. She's gonna, so like I said, it's the whole Julia Hart thing, which I definitely like. Dana Botch versus Blair Davenport. Dana Brooke again is not good in the ring. I will say that, but I am somewhat enjoying her character work on what she's doing. Because the whole situation with Kalani Jordan, and Dana Brooke's trying to show Kalani Jordan, more of an edge or whatnot, and there's those heel tendencies. So that I'm enjoying. She still sucks in the ring though, but. At the end, Blair Davenport wins, and Kalani Jordan puts her hand on Dana Brooke's shoulder, and she looks like fucking Gollum. Dana Brooke with the looked pretty fucking nasty actually, but there's that. Trick Williams versus Drew Gulak. Trick Williams ends up winning. Everything's basic with Trick Williams in the ring, but he still gets his reps in, but he's green as shit. But I'm glad he's actually getting his reps in, and hopefully he gets better at that. A Dabba-Kato promo showing that he's going to return soon. Spoiler, he returned. he returned to Tyler Bate, because it was Tyler Bate versus Joe Coffey, and he attacked he attacked both of them, or he tried to attack both, but yeah. So I guess Dabba-Kato's back. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully they do something with him. I don't really expect much, because like a guy like Dabba-Kato doesn't really fit on a show like NXT, to me at least. But he's way too fucking big, and like the style wrestling that you see on NXT doesn't go with the style wrestling that he does. So, but anyway, you had okay. Now I'm being dead serious when I say this. Segment of the century. Okay. You had Baron Corbin came out, and Baron Corbin's like, he's cutting his promos now. He's like, I don't care what I say. You know what I mean? I can say whatever on the mic. So Corbin cut a good promo, and guess who came out to confront him?
Von Kali.
So he comes out and basically just trashes Corbin, and he's all like he's like where are you? You got 10 gimmicks. Is it Cosmo Corbin, Happy Corbin, Sad Corbin, Bum Ass Corbin, or your other 8 gimmicks? Well, you said 4 already, Vaughn. That's 12. You said 10 at the beginning. Oh, it was terrible. Oh, but it was promo of the year, though. It was promo of the year. So it looks like they're setting up a match with Wagner and Baron Corbin. So, which I'm totally fine. I'm kind of thinking that Robert Stone may turn on Von Kali.
No.
And maybe manager of Baron Corbin. But I'm loving Baron Corbin's new character. I really am. They're just letting him go out, be him, which I can't complain about. So, I know you're not a huge fan of Corbin, but
well, you know what? At least with Corbin at least gets it. He at least gets the heel part, and he's passable in the ring. And I say passable with like a grimace to my voice, but he's passable.
I think he's actually. I don't think he's great, but I think he's good.
I'll take him over Dana Botch. I'll put it that way. Any day of the week.
Absolutely, yes.
Like Baron at least gets it. He gets the heel part, and he's passable in the ring. So again, I don't hate Corbin the way I despise Dana Brooke. But go ahead.
What else? Ali cut a promo for the North American Championship, and whatever. Whatever. I mean, I like Ali, but I thought the promo was good. Don't get me wrong. I thought the promo was good. It's just, I know you're not going to win. You're not going to beat Dom. You know what I mean? Like, whoever wins the North American Championship is probably going to hold that for a little while. Wesley versus Dijak. I mean, they had a fucking awesome match earlier this year. They had another damn good match here. You had Eddie Dennis come out to distract. Wesley picks up the win based off that. Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria looks like they're gonna have a tag team match. I believe next week for Heat Wave versus Dominic and Rhea Ripley. So looking forward to that match. Love Dragon Lee. Love Lyra Valkyria, and love me some mommy. Love me some Dom. So that should be a fun match next week. Then you had Braun Breaker come out, did a little backstage segment with Baron Corbin, another segment with Baron Corbin. And, basically, long story short, it's a little bit of a tease there of something to come up, I guess. Because, he was like, oh, well, good luck next week. So I don't know exactly where they're going to go with that. But, the Metaphor and my boy Nathan Frazier, they're saying something. They're saying up for next week for their Heritage Cup Championship, and then then at the end of the show here, you had Wesley and Carmelo. They do a promo for their contract for the NXT Championship. Good match, not good match, but a good promo between the two. Wesley basically, his promo was basically saying that, everyone counted me out, when I got into the indies. They said I was too small. I was in the army, and they, my superior said, hey, you can't do pro wrestling, you're too small, you're not good enough, and all that stuff. Hey, I lost my tag team partner. I was a 2-time NXT tag team champion, and people talk about, and people said I couldn't become a single star, and I became a single star, and I became the best North American champion of all time. So it was just like one of those promos, those motivational promos there. So good promo there for that. I did miss a segment with Angel Garza and Alberto Carrillo, but I mean it wasn't much of anything. It's about family and we gotta be more aggressive and all that shit. So, but that was NXT. I thought I like NXT. You can't really watch it like a Raw, SmackDown, AEW. You can't really watch it as the same because this is developmental. But I gave it about 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed the show overall. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, usually NXT is the better show. It's a better constructed show than Raw or SmackDown. Which lately, Raw and SmackDown have been a little better with the booking, so to speak. So, but that's all. That's the shows. Those are the shows. Now we'll get into the news. So let's get into this first big news tidbit. This might shock you, Justin, but apparently CM Punk is an asshole.
Can we save that? We need to because that's gonna take up a lot of time. Anything CM Punk is gonna take up a lot of time. Can we save that?
You want to save this for the end or for another show? Okay.
No, for the end. For the end.
Okay, all right. So I only really have a few other news.
Or the end of the news segment. The end of the news segment, not the end of the show.
So I only have a few news articles other than that. So Lacey Evans is done with WWE. She put on her social media, let's see, on her Instagram bio, when the clock strikes 12, you will address me as Macy Estrella from here on out. Accompanied by the self-reference, formerly known as WWE superstar Lacey Evans. And there's a nice little picture of her and Daisy Dukes on top of a truck. Let's see. Lacey also revamped her social media handles to Limitless Macy and posted a tantalizing GIF raising the question how many days left, which sparked speculation of her leaving WWE. Reports indicate that WWE may reach an impasse in their efforts to elevate Evans. It's rumored that even Triple H, a significant figure within the WWE, expressed lukewarm sentiments towards her and lacked creative strategies for her character development. And I believe she's opening up a coffee shop with her husband. That's what she's doing post wrestling.
I'm hearing she's gonna open an OnlyFans. That's what the fuck I heard.
Well, that's another thing. A fan on Twitter asked her, "Are you doing an OnlyFans?" To which she kind of put, I guess, like an emoji of her blushing or something. So she'll probably do that. But the what she said mainly is that her and her husband are going to open up a coffee shop, and maybe she'll do an OnlyFans. Who knows? But Lacey Evans is no more. She's gone from the WWE. I mean, what can be said about Lacey is just, again, simple. It's like, when you look at it, her as the Southern Belle, it was over. I mean, that was when she was the most interesting, because she main evented a pay-per-view. You know, the pay-per-view with her and Baron Corbin versus Seth and Becky. You know, the infamous, spot when Baron, did the end of days to Becky, which
that was during the pandemic, right?
That was before.
That was before. Okay.
It was in 2019, Extreme Rules. So, she did that, and then they just revamped her. Out of the blue, they just revamped her character and just had her. They literally just put her on television and said, "Okay, talk about your say horrible things about your dad." And it's like, "Oh, my dad killed himself, and he was an alcoholic, and yada yada yada." So it's just like, it's weird, because like for years, you look at this girl's background, and she's legit. She was a legit badass. She was in the Marines, and she actually like killed some motherfuckers. And then she's doing the Southern Belle gimmick, so I'm like, why not just have her come out as like Sonya Blade? But then, like I know it just sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but I'll get to the point. But like, when you look at it,
Ronda Rousey there, who's actually Sonya Blade, so that wouldn't work.
I mean, I'm saying a Sonya Blade-ish character, like have her come out as like a Sergeant Slaughter-ish type of character, which they ended up doing. But it's like, with her, it was just so many start and stop pushes and start and stop repackages, and also going back to the other part where she was feuding with Charlotte, and she was apparently, having an affair with Ric Flair, and then she was actually getting over with that, but then she got pregnant, and she just lost.
Oh yeah, that's what fucked her up right there. I mean, I don't want to say in a bad way, but that's like that messed up her momentum. So
right. Rick could have kept it in his pants, no one. But yeah, she lost a lot of momentum, after that, and after that, she just wasn't the same. And it's just, with Lacey, it's like she wasn't bad in the ring. She was actually pretty good in the ring. She had a good look, but it's like, too many start and stop pushes, too many start and stop, character, reforms. It just, I don't know. She was kind of dead in the water, for a good while. And I don't know. With Lacey, it's like, I think she's talented. I think she could have had something, waiting for her in the company as far as like being something. I don't know what that something was. Could have been like a big star, maybe. I don't know, but it sounds like the company, more so. I mean, they kind of alluded to that Triple H didn't have too much faith in her, with all these like start and stop gimmicks. And I mean, it also didn't help her case that she was kind of an asshole on social media. But I digress. But what do you think about Lacey, the whole news and Lacey's career?
I mean, to be honest, we're talking about this longer than I was anticipating.
Right.
She's gone from the company. She's not gonna be remembered or missed or anything like that. I hope that she does well. She finds peace and happiness in what she does. But pro wrestling wasn't for her.
Right.
And I'm just gonna say that. So, but no ill will. Hope she does well. And all that stuff. But when it comes down to it, the business wasn't for her at the end of the day. So,
yeah, you're not wrong. Other news about America's sweetheart, Sunny, Tammy Stitch, had pleaded no contest to a felony charge of DUI. Stitch was arrested in May 2022, stemming from the death of a 75-year-old man named Julian Lassiter in March 2022 during a traffic incident in Ormond Beach, Florida. She had been facing one count of DUI causing death, one count of causing death while operating a vehicle with a suspended or revoked driver's license, 4 counts of DUI causing injury to a person, and 3 counts of DUI causing damage to property. TMZ reported news today. Now Stitch faces up to 25 years in prison. She initially pleaded not guilty to all the charges. She changed her plea in court on Wednesday before the case went to trial. In addition to the plea to felony DUI causing death, court documents show she also pleaded no contest to 1 felony charge of driving with license suspended causing death, 4 misdemeanor counts of DUI with damage to a person, and 2 misdemeanor charges of DUI with damage to property. 25 years is the maximum sentence she is facing, which, when first arrested, officials allege Sitch had a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or higher. She had previously been arrested several times for impaired driving. So, looks like Tammy's going to be doing some big girl time. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but it's just, I think Sitch's luck has kind of run out, and it's just, I also think it doesn't help. It doesn't do any favors that she looks like she doesn't really show any remorse for what happened, because it's like this poor guy, like he was just an average dude, just living his life, just driving on the road, and all of a sudden, this maniac on the road that doesn't even have her license, kills him, and she has not shown 1 ounce of remorse or anything for it, or empathy in general. Tammy's just a piece of shit. I mean, what else can we? I know, again, this just in, water is wet, but again, I think we need to take Tammy off the streets, put her in jail where she belongs, throw away the fucking key. But what do you think?
Play no contest is like basically say I plead the fifth.
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth.
I mean, who gives a fuck about her?
Right.
Why are we spending our time talking about, giving her more I mean, we're not big or anything, but more publicity than needed. Like, good. I hope you rot. Just, you know what I mean? Let's, I can't care less about. I feel bad for the gentleman that passed away. Obviously, I feel bad for him and his family, but Sonny, I could give 2 fucks about. So there you go.
Well, no, you're not wrong. I mean, again, who gives a fuck about Tammy? She's a piece of shit, and yeah, I mean, you're kind of right. We are kind of giving her more attention than we should, but just it was an interesting. I just thought it'd be something to talk about. But one last thing I had before we get to the meat and potatoes. MJ, and also anything you want to talk about. MJF wants to appear on Logan Paul's podcast. Seeks Nick Khan's permission. He put on Twitter, yo at Logan Paul. I'm a big fan, and I heard you were very upset with your ranking in the ESPN Top 30 under 30. I couldn't agree with you more. The list was flawed. What the hell is a Vikingo? Would love to come on Impulsive and talk about the list, as well as the fact that AEW is about to run the biggest show in the history of the sport on August 27th. Hopefully your boss and our mutual friend Jolly Old Saint Nick will allow it. P.S. I wrote this whilst sipping on a Prime. Yours sincerely, numero uno, MJF. So what do you think about the possibility of MJF appearing on Impulsive?
I will absolutely fucking love that. 100%. Because to me, it will help the wrestling business overall, where fans of Logan Paul who may just now be casual WWE fans may start watching AEW, and that could help the wrestling business overall as far as getting more exposure, being more mainstream. You know what I mean? And wrestling is continuing to make it surge back in size of the mainstream like it was in the Attitude Era. It's never gonna be the Attitude Era again as far as mainstream appeal, but since Logan Paul has such a audience, such a reach, having MJF on there will be great. That's the perfect guy to be on there, and there may be like people who've never seen MJF before, like, this guy's a fucking dick, like, and they may just not just get it, like yeah, he's really a dick, but that's also his gimmick too, where he's just a dick to everybody. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Now, what I think Tony Khan will be okay with that. MJF, obviously, he wants to do it. I don't think that WWE wants to be involved with that. Yeah, I think they may try to talk to Logan like, hey, I know your podcast and everything, but this is the AEW champion, this is the competition, and, you're kind of giving him, free publicity on your podcast, by the way, but to talk about a wrestling show, to their biggest wrestling show ever. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, They let Chris Jericho on Austin's podcast.
But that's completely different. Jericho is WWE. He's a WWE guy. He's still a WWE guy through and through, even though he's part of AEW. MJF's never been in WWE as a full contractor wrestler, obviously. Jericho's was part of WWE for fucking, a span of 15 to 20 years.
Right, but again, I don't know. I think it'd be good business. Again, it's probably never going to happen because...
I agree with you. I'm saying that I think that WWE does not want to do that business.
I kind of disagree, and I'll explain why. Because, again, WWE really wants MJF. And, MJF is, saying... Again, MJF has to kind of say nice things, but, he's referring to Nick Khan as jolly old Saint Nick, and he loves Triple H, and he loves Vince McMahon, and he loves everybody else. So, I would think on one part, WWE is like, we do want this guy eventually when his contract runs out. So it'd be nice to get him on a platform that's associated with us, but at the same time, like you just said, I don't think they want to get involved in that kind of spot. You know what I mean?
But it's free advertisement for AEW.
Yeah, you are right about that. But then again, when Cody was on Austin's podcast, he was talking about AEW, and also the Cody documentary, they were talking an awful lot about AEW, even showing backstage footage of the first All In. So that's kind of what you're just saying. It's advertising AEW.
Is advertising AEW, but the people who watch Cody, and that documentary were already fans knowing of AEW already and the whole situation. Those are things that already happened. All In, and this hasn't happened yet. The first All In, now this All In that's happening in a couple weeks. This show hasn't happened yet, which they're helping contribute to the biggest audience as far as a wrestling audience in history. I don't know. If I were WWE, I would. Now again, at the end of the day, it's Logan Paul's show. He can do whatever the hell he wants on the show, but I would interview and be like, "Hey, this is the reason why you don't want to do it. This, that, and the other, blah blah blah." But hey, what the fuck do I know? Because it's Logan Paul's show. He can do whatever the fuck he want on there on his show. So I'm pretty sure that at the end of the day, he's like, Logan Paul's like, "Shut the fuck, man, this is my show. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want." But I'm pretty sure that Triple H may give him a call, be like, "Hey, just so you know, this is the competition." Logan. I'm more than sure that he knows, but at the same time, he's so fresh and naive in this business. He probably doesn't know all the ins and outs, and doesn't know the ramifications of something like this. If he does have MJF on his podcast, so because Logan Paul's Impulsive Podcast is not owned by WWE. It's his podcast. So,
but again, I also think it's a thing of they want MJF, so I think this might be their way of getting closer to him. But again, just it more than likely won't happen. But Now that we kind of brought the topic up, because I don't think we got a chance to talk about it, and we can just breeze through it real quick, is the ESPN 30 under 30.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that last week, yeah.
Right. So I have the list right here. It's on ESPN. We'll start by number 30. Number 30 is Shota Umino from New Japan. He's 26 years old. No clue who that guy is. I'm pretty sure you know who he is.
Yeah, he was on AEW. He was actually at not All In, but he was at Jesus Christ, Forbidden Door, right? So he's like Moxley's I won't say friend or anything like that, but yeah, he's like a kind of sort of Japanese member of the BCC in a sort of funny way, but not officially. So yeah.
Number 29 is Daniel Garcia.
He's under 30, so 29. I'm not gonna complain about that.
Number 28 is Tyler Bate.
Whoa, no, you ain't getting off this well. You give your opinions too.
He is bland. He is bland as fucking as fucking all hell. Is he bad in the ring?
Looking at this list now, there are some that I know because there were some honorable mentions as well. So I'm pretty sure there's probably some honorable mentions that you probably will put ahead of Garcia and Umino.
I mean, he's at least on television, but it's like I don't know. Again, the guy's good in the ring, but he's bland. He's bland as hell.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
That's fair.
Just my opinion. Number 28 is Tyler Bate. He's 26. Like him. Like Tyler Bate.
I love Tyler Bate. I loved him when he was fucking 19 years old. Fucking, you know, the original UK tournament. Like been watching this guy forever now. You know what I mean? Been watching him since he was like 17 years old. So.
Number 27, Masha Slamovich from Impact. He is 25. Or is that a girl or a guy?
Well, yeah. So, God. I understand why she's on the list. She's just not for me. You're not. I can already tell you, Drew. You're not gonna like her.
Oh, boy.
You're not gonna like her. She's not bad in the ring. I think a lot of people, and not necessarily me, but a lot of people don't like her because of she wrestled basically she's a hardcore wrestler too. She does hardcore matches, she does like suplexes through glass and all that shit. She wrestled Nick Gage and all that shit. So there's gonna be people who just see just that right there, just that, and think that she's a bad wrestler. She's not a bad wrestler. But to me, she's just not for me personally though. So
Okay.
You know what I mean? Do I agree that she is one of the better young women's wrestlers, so I don't necessarily not agree, or I don't necessarily disagree, that's an easier word to say. I don't necessarily disagree with her being there, but me personally, I probably won't have a top 30.
Okay. And Goof showed a picture of her. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, Goof, we're talking about the ESPN 30 under 30 list.
Yeah, she's yeah. I don't want to be mean, but yeah.
Ooh. Number 26 is Ilya Dragunov. He's 29. Jesus Christ. I thought he was like older than that. He's 29.
Nah. He's on the verge of being 30. He should be higher.
I mean, he should. Number 25 is Diana Purrazzo, who's 29.
I mean, she's not bad. She's fucking great at what she does.
But higher than Ilya?
I'm not saying that she should be higher than Ilya, but just kind of the way you said, like oh, she's yeah. I think she's fine. She's damn good at what she does.
She's good, but I'll put it this way: she's perfectly average. That's the best way I can describe her. She's good at her job. She doesn't do anything that's offensive. I mean, if you look at her Twitter, but that's a different story. But other than that, she's perfectly average. I'll put it that way. Number 24 is Jordan Grace, 27. Oy. Can we move on to the next topic, please?
I'm taking personal things aside. I think that she is a good wrestler. I will have Diana Purrazzo over her, but I am not mad. I am not mad that she's on this list, and she's about where more or less I'll probably will put her.
Number 23 is Yota Tsuji, 29 years old, New Japan.
You know. Hold on, I gotta pull up this article here.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
I can't trust you with pronouncing names.
right, because you know how well I'm at. You know how great I'm pronouncing Japanese names.
Hold on, sorry.
Can anyone post?
Okay, Yoda Suji. Okay. I was making sure it was Yoda Suji. He's really good. He's really good. You know, he's in LIJ, and he's really on that come up. So hopefully, I don't know if I'm at 23. I don't know if I'm top 30. Honestly, if this was next year, well, next year will be 30. But if it was 28 in next year, but yeah, but he's good though. He has promise. I mean, now a lot of people are gonna know him because he's in Japan, and like if you're in Japan, like I don't know you, and blah blah blah. You should be on the list, but I don't know if I have him top 30, but he's definitely maybe top 50 for sure.
Number 22 is Saya Kamitani, Stardom.
Kamitani, yeah. Yeah, she's in Stardom. She's very good in the ring. She has a nice little look to her. Easy on the eyes too, as well. At least I think. Just about, yeah. She's top 30. I don't know about 22, but yeah, she's top 30.
Number 21, Pro Wrestling Noah's Kaito Kiyomiya, 27.
He's basically like the Okada, and over there in Pro Wrestling Noah, he actually him and Okada had a little bit of a feud earlier this year. So he's really good. And I don't like if he was in New Japan, I think he will actually be top 10 on this list.
Okay.
But since he's in Noah, like he doesn't have that as much eyes on him, he's at where he's at.
Number 20, Wheeler Yuta, 26-year-old.
26. He looks older than what he actually looks, but
meh.
I don't know about top 20 for him. Maybe I'll probably like at 29-ish, maybe 30 if I was constructing this list.
I don't know. 19, Jamie Hayter.
So do you think he's perfect where he's at? I mean, if you have to pick,
he should definitely be lower on this list because, I mean, again, the majority of these people, again, a lot of them are either Noah, New Japan, or Stardom, so obviously you don't know these people. So, again, it's like a Daniel Garcia thing. At least he's on television, and you see him more. But again,
well, I think so. I get what you're saying. He's on American TV more.
Right.
like the other guys are on TV, they're just not on American TV. So how can we really? These are just the best 30 under 30, no matter if we see them or not, right? Like this. I don't know who did the article, but obviously he has his footnote on wrestling, and so I don't know, but continue.
Number 19, Jamie Hayter, 28 years old.
If she is one of the last women on this list, then I mean, like, to me, we'll see the other women on this list, but I personally think that's a good spot, but it just depends on the other women that are going to be on the list here. So.
She's good. I mean, she's.
Oh yeah, I like her. I really like her.
She's been hurt for a while, but she's good. I like her. She's one of the women I like on the show. 18 is Bandito, 28 years old.
Yes, to his full potential, yes. But we haven't really seen his full potential in AEW. But again, people are gonna go off what he's seeing in AEW versus what he does outside AEW. So. But I think 18 is a fairly fair spot for him.
Number 17, Dragon Lee, 28 years old.
Yeah, same thing with him, and like people don't a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't watch NXT. So some people probably think this is too high for Dragon Lee, but again, I think this is a fair spot for him.
Number 16, Toni Storm, 27 years old. I thought she was older.
Oh no, she's super young. Toni Storm above Jamie Hayter. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. People are going to look at what she's doing in AEW and the lack of push of the women on AEW. But I'm looking at it from her being like a total in-ring wrestler and full package, which I think that her and Jamie Hayter are like neck and neck. Like, so if you had Jamie Hayter a little bit ahead of Toni Storm or vice versa, like, I'm not going to complain. So I think that's fair.
Right. I mean, we've had this conversation about Toni before, where ever since she's came to AEW, she got to be with her boyfriend or her fiance, I believe, and it seems like she's kind of gotten too comfortable, being in the company. So when she wants to, she'll go out there and have a good match. But
do you think, again, you're saying that, and because I did mention that too as well, but do you think that's more of her, or do you think that is lack of booking from TK and, to Kenny Omega too, because Kenny Omega, he has influence of the women's division, so, like, or do you think it's like a mixture of all that?
I think it's a mixture of both, but I also think it's one of those things of, and Goof is saying Toni Storm and Juice Robinson are married. All right, so yeah, good for them. But I think for Toni, it's just like it's weird because they present her as a star and they made her the women's champion twice. But again, it's just that booking. That booking of the women's division is so fucking ass backwards. But
yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. It's weird with Toni. But moving on, number 15, Utami Haya Shishida. Or Shishida.
Utami Haya Shishida, yes.
24 years old, from Stardom.
She's great. She's I believe EO wants her to come over to WWE.
Okay.
And I'm thinking that she's trying to get her to come to WWE, but she's great. She's great.
Okay. Number 14, Wes Lee, 28 years old. Love him.
Yeah, no, he definitely deserves to be on this list. I don't want to say that may be love for him, but it just depends who's above him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's that's like the right spot for him, or if that's too low. I have a feeling that may be a little bit too low, though.
Number 13 is Jack Perry.
Jungle Boy.
I
will have Wesley. I'll probably just have him swap spots, honestly.
Thank you.
Just swap.
Thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, I love Jungle Boy. I really like him. Yeah. Well, what do you think?
I think Wesley is so much better than Jack Perry. Once upon a time, I liked Jungle Boy, and I thought Jungle Boy had something to him. But it's like the difference is just how they work. Like Jack Perry.
Well, no, just as Jungle Boy as a whole. Like I'm really liking his.
Well, let me finish real quick. But like with someone like Jack Perry, he needs somebody to help him. Like the match with RVD last week, I actually thought was good. The new gimmick, it's a mixed bag because like sometimes it works, sometimes it feels like it's forced. You even said on occasion that it was forced. But like with someone like Wesley can work with anybody, and it's going to look like $1 million. So I would rank Wesley over Jack Perry, just personal.
If Wesley were in AEW and Jungle Boy were in NXT, would your opinions be different about the two? Possibly. If Jack Perry had the same character, same everything in NXT, and let's say Sean and his team down there tries to make him feel as less forced, and Wesley he's just down there at AEW just doing whatever the fuck he wants. He probably won't even be on fucking TV. Maybe. Like, would your opinions change about him, or would you feel that will stay the same?
It might change because, again, don't want to sound like I'm being a WWE, fanboy, but it's like you look at everybody that comes to WWE and you look at everyone that goes to AEW and it's like night and day.
Right. Right.
If Wesley went to AEW, he would have just been another guy on the card that does flips. You know, WWE took the time to help him be a star on NXT, and it worked. You know, the guy cuts good promos, the guy has great matches. You know, he's the stomp and clap babyface, and it works. You know, I think if you put Jack Perry in that WWE system, again, it'd be like night and day. They would have made him look like $1 million. He would have had better matches. He'd be less of a shithead. And, you know, he'd cut better promos. And, like, his heel gimmick would actually be less nonsensical, and it would work. You know, someone like Shawn Michaels would have helped him with that heel persona. Someone like Triple H would have helped him with that heel persona. So, again, not trying to be a WWE fanboy. I'm just calling out. I'm just
I agree with you. I agree with you.
You know what I mean? So, number 12 was Butch, Pete Dunne, 29 years old. Again, thought he was much older than that.
Oh, no. Like, he came in at 23, 22. To his full potential, he should be like top 5. To his full potential, but 12 is fine. Just you saying that is telling me that he should change his fucking name. Butch, just the name Butch sucks.
I don't know. I've never been the biggest Pete Dunne fan, but when he became Butch, I started to kind of warm up to him because at least he showed that he has.
I'm talking about the name. I'm not talking about like the on-screen character.
Like he showed he had more personality. But yeah, Butch. I think at this point, just call him Pete Dunne. I mean, I think in there've been some shows where they did call him Pete Dunne. So I don't know. I think they should really just go back to calling him Pete Dunne.
Just go back to Pete Dunne because that's limiting him right there. Like,
your
WrestleMania main event: Braun Breaker versus Butch.
I mean, they've given everybody else their names back. Like, give Pete his name back. So I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Number 11, Julia from Stardom.
I really like her. I mean, remember last year? Remember she was like one of the top wrestlers of the year with the Vikingo. So she's fucking awesome. She's fucking great. I know you never seen a match of her or anything like that, but she's fucking great, man. She's really good. She's really good in the fucking ring. You know what I mean? But I don't know if she'll ever come to WWE or AEW or whatever the case may be, but I'm not taking that away from her on what she does in the ring. So yeah. But number 11, I'm not mad at that.
Maurice is saying, where's Julia from? Stardom.
Stardom,
she is born in London to an Italian father and a Japanese mother. So, there you go.
Yeah. She had the I think her title ring was the longest Stardom title ring ever, I think, if I want to say.
Number 10. We're in the top 10 already. Logan Paul, 28 years old.
I mean,
what else can we say?
I agree.
I
can't really say. I agree. He's just a fucking natural. Like, he's great.
I mean, he should be top 5, but that's just my opinion.
We'll see the rest of the names here, but we'll see. I don't know about top 5. I think that's probably pushing it.
I think he should be top 5, but again, just personal preference. Number 9, Liv Morgan, 29. Again, thought she was much older. Well, not by much older. I don't want to say like she's like 40, but like at least maybe like early 30s, at least. But
this is too high.
Yeah,
this is too high. I love Liv, but you got her over Julia and fucking Toni Storm and fucking Jamie Hayter, and I have her maybe near Deonna Purrazzo.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going back to the thing of she's been featured more prominently and she's been on TV more. So I guess that's my only guess as to why she's this high.
Or maybe the guy whoever has a fucking crush on her. I don't know.
Probably. Number 8, Takeshita, 28 years old.
No say Takeshita. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Yeah,
I
agree with that.
He's good. I don't have a problem with him. He's good. He doesn't. I mean, other than wrestling a little girl in the ring, but he wrestle. I mean, he's a good wrestler.
What do you mean wrestle a little girl in the ring?
There was a video that literally came out where he was having a match with like a 7-year-old
Oh
girl.
yeah, but like people need to understand that things happen on the indies and things, and I'm pretty sure. Look, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of fucking, things out there where, like, if you see Carmelo Hayes, when he was Christian Casanova, he's wrestling a little boy, or he gets pinned by a little boy in the ring, then, are we gonna start questioning, him? Are we gonna start questioning fucking, Austin Theory when he was in, Evolved, and, he got kicked in the head got kicked in the nuts by a midget? Like there's gonna be some corny shit that we're gonna see, like, not in the big leagues, like, you know what I mean? So I don't let that stuff bother me. But anyway, yeah, I think that's fine.
Number 27, you just said his name, Carmelo Hayes, 28 years old.
Ooh, it's number 7. I gotta hear everyone else, because I think he should be top. Nah, I think he should be top 5, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll reserve my judgment.
Number 6, Braun Breaker, 25 years old.
Same thing. I think he probably could have been a little bit higher.
And now we're in the top 5. I definitely think Braun should be higher. Number 5, Dominic, 26 years old.
Love Dominic. I would probably have Melo and Braun over Dominic.
I'll say yes, but I think
if you put Dominic number 7 and Melo number 6 and Braun number 5, like, that's totally cool.
Okay. Number 4, the Kingo.
Yeah. He deserves to be up there for sure.
No, I'm sorry, no.
Why?
Him in the top 5 over, let's see, Braun, Melo, and Logan Paul, even Takeshita. No. He should not be in the top 5. I'm sorry.
Well, like, okay, so where would you put him then? Would you put him top 10 or top 15?
Maybe below top 10, but just not in the top 5.
So I know you only saw maybe a couple of his matches in AEW, but, like, he's much more than just what you saw from him in AEW. Like, he's like the guy in AAA, which is the same organization where, like, Conan was, like, the top guy, and fucking, like, Rey Mysterio, had a stint there, and, you know what I mean? Like, being top at AAA is, like, a fucking huge deal.
Okay, I'm gonna be an asshole with this next comment. Not everybody watches AAA.
That's true, but that's the line of thinking that wrestling fans need to stop having. Like, not everyone watches AAA, which is true, but again, not everyone watches WWE, not everyone watches AEW, not everyone watches New Japan. So we need to stop thinking as, like, okay, hey, like, my wrestling organization, the wrestling organizations I watch, obviously they are the most watched and the most viewed, but that shouldn't determine on someone's either success or someone's popularity. Like, he's, like, a huge guy in fucking, like I say, in AAA, which in Mexico, and, he was in GCW too. He does a little bit of GCW, but he does obviously does his AEW as well. But, like, he's a fucking immense talent, and he's, like, only, like, what's his age there that you got him at? He's like 25, 26?
26.
Yeah, 26 years old. Like, his whole career is still ahead of him, but like, I don't know about how I'm at 4. I'll probably have him top 7, but he's definitely in that range of being on top of this list for sure. Like, he's a fucking mega talent, in my opinion. So,
I don't think he should be this high. But this next name's kind of interesting because I don't know if he should be this high. Austin Theory, 26.
Again, we're looking at them on how they're being booked right now. We're not looking at them as the total package.
Right, and I like Theory. I mean, Theory, to me, he's a thoroughbred. Like, he's somebody you can build around. And overall talent, good in the ring, doesn't do anything offensive, good talker. So I think something's kind of missing with him. I think he might need like his own, like, stable. And him with Pretty Deadly, I don't think works. Mainly because, like, they just don't complement each other, in my opinion. But
they don't know.
But I think Theory's good. I just don't know if he should be this high. I mean, him in the top 5, I think it makes sense. I don't know if he should be 3 though, but again, personal preference. But
who would you put who would you put above Theory?
who would I put above Theory? I would. It's.
If Theory's top 5, who will be your top 5?
Let's finish the top 5 first, and then I'll get to that.
Okay.
So number 2 is Rhea, which makes sense.
Yeah, that's
26.
That's obvious. And number 1's MJF, right?
MJF. So my top 5, I would leave MJF at number 1 because regardless of the weird booking, MJF, 27 years
just
old.
for 5. It doesn't have to be in order, but just for 5.
All right, so I'll keep MJF there because MJF's MJF. Good promo, good worker. So he's 27, so I'd keep him there. Definitely keep Rhea there. I would keep Logan in my top 5. Let's see who else. I would definitely keep Theory in my top 5. And my last one, I would choose. I'd choose Hayes. So those would be my 5. Yeah.
So Mel over Braun for you.
Yes.
Okay. That's fair. You want to know who I thought should have been on this list? In the lore half, maybe like in the top 28, Tiffany Stratton.
Yes.
I would have had Tiffany on this list, but near here or there.
How old is she?
She's like 23, 24. She's young.
Hold on, let me look her up. Yeah, 23
It's like 23, 24 years old.
I'm surprised she wasn't on this list. The guys who wrote this are Mark Ray Mondi and Brandon Caldwell.
Mark Raimondi, Jesus. Okay, that explains this list then. Overall, I thought the list for the most part was fair, right. Because if you just do just like AEW guys and fucking WWE guys, that's the other Japanese wrestlers and Hispanic wrestlers that's kind of not right. Is not right in my opinion. But my top 5 will be MJF, Rhea Ripley, Theory, Braun Breaker, and Carmelo.
Okay.
That'll be my top 5. And after that, I'll probably have Dominic Vikingo. Probably have Vikingo like number 6 or 7. Then we'll go from there.
All right. What news topics do you have?
That's it. That's all you got.
Well, I mean, I'm saving the CM Punk thing for last.
Oh no. We're about to get into it. If we're
okay.
Yeah, no. So if you don't have anything else, if you want to start talking about the whole Punk situation, let the podcast begin. That's what I gotta say.
All right, so let me start off with this. Let me make sure you can hear it first. Can you hear that?
No.
God damn it.
Went to a local supermarket and I figured out why they call him Hangman.
It is going in and out. At least on my side, it's going in and out.
So basically, the gist of it is after Collision, I believe.
Everyone knows about this already. So yeah.
But just in case for the people at home that are living under a rock, essentially, and don't pay attention to social media like we do. CM Punk after Collision last week, after Collision cut a very scathing promo about Hangman Adam Page, saying that he was at the store. I don't know which store, like Toy Store or whatever that he was at, where he saw a bunch of Hangman Adam Page toys, and just proceeded to talk
peg warmer.
Peg warmer, there you go. And I believe he said "fuck it," Hangman Adam Page. To which apparently CM Punk actually texted Hangman and apologized, and I believe Hangman even accepted. So apparently they're cool right now. Doesn't say a lot for a lot of other people, namely Ryan Nemeth, who, if that name sounds familiar, the brother of Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, apparently had some words for CM Punk a few weeks ago, and Punk got right in his face and, talked to him in front of the whole locker room, to which they apparently squashed beef of some sort, so I guess they're cool and maybe they're not cool. A few other people got sent home. It's not really known if they really had any problems with CM Punk in general. Christopher Daniels, who apparently is like I think he's an agent or producer.
So he's the head of talent creations. Relations, talent create. Like I'm thinking about Creamy Creations right now in my freezer.
That sounds good. Yeah, apparently he has no pull over CM Punk, so he got fucking sent home.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Matt Hardy apparently got sent home, and somebody else. I'm blanking on the name, but this is causing more dissension in AEW. That CM Punk apparently has a lot of creative control, brother, without the creative control for Collision. Basically, anyone that CM Punk likes stays on the show. Anyone he doesn't like, anyone that looks at him sideways is going to Wednesday nights or to Ring of Honor, whatever. But more drama coming out of AEW. More Tony Khan not keeping his house in order. When asked about the CM Punk Hangman situation, Tony Khan replied with, and I quote, "No comment." So, coming off the Lufisto beef, which now seems like a distant memory. Now we got more shit going on in AEW, Justin. Just seems like
I want to ask you first, but before we really get into this, because I got a lot of shit here, and I want to break this down, section by section.
Mm-hmm.
What are your initial thoughts about the whole CM Punk Adam Page promo, the promo that CM Punk cut, and the aftermath?
Again, it's just one of those things like we talked about last week with the Lufisto thing, where it's like it just seems like a new story comes out that's going to eventually fade away, but it's just adding more fuel to that fire of AEW is just... There's so much dissension, where it's like I
think this is worse than the Lufisto situation.
I think so too, because like with this, it's just like, you know, if you piss off CM Punk, you're going to be on Dynamite. If you piss off the Elite, you're going to Collision. You know, and it's just like, I mean, I guess it creates for good TV, and if you look at it that way, but like, you know, it doesn't really help CM Punk, because it's like if you piss off CM Punk, you're going to another show, and Tony Khan just seems to be, you know, the cheerleader on both sides, like, yeah, I love CM Punk, yay, best in the world, yay, you draw ratings, kind of, sort of, maybe, yay. So, just, again, hate to be the WWE fanboy, they will not tolerate this shit one bit. You know, gone are the days of, you know, Shawn Michaels is an asshole, but he's talented. Now it's like, you're an asshole, but we don't care if you're talented. Get the fuck out. You know, AEW is like, you're a prima donna, whiny asshole. We're going to give you all the money in the world. We're going to give you your own show. We're going to put people on the show that you like. And if anyone, you know, grinds your gears, just let me know. I can put them on Dynamite. Or, you know, dare I say, Ring of Honor. So, just, again, the inmates are running the asylum. Is that fair to say the inmates are running the asylum?
Not the inmates. The major inmate is currently running the asylum. Which is CM Punk. So... Let's step back, because I got a lot to say about this.
Go ahead.
First and foremost, just to clear everything here, Punk cut a promo after Collision talking about Hangman Page, him being a peg warmer. They were in Greensboro. And basically, long story short, he would say, "Oh, I sold more tickets here than last time they were here." Blah 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 blah. Drury mentioned, and this came from, and I wanna give sources credit here. This came from Brian Alvarez. Okay, Brian Alvarez mentioned saying that from the Figure 4 Wrestling Observer, saying that what I can say is that he did in fact send a text message to Hangman Adam Page apologizing for the promo on Saturday. That is from both sides that did happen. He did apologize to him via text message. It seems that the Elite, who is the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, it seems like they accepted it, not Hangman. So it seems, at least at this time, from the last update, it seems that Hangman and Punk are still at odds. Okay. Also as well, Punk, he said that his, basically it was said that Punk's Collision promo comments about Hangman Page did come across on how, how he would like for it to have it. And Punk apparently felt bad afterwards, which came from Nick Houseman. And there's some other stuff about Houseman that we have here. So, but it is so also as well. If you guys watched Dynamite tonight, Hangman cut a promo, which was apparently at the hospital, and put in quotations, where he saw an ambulance and he was there. Hangman was originally supposed to go to the arena for at Collision in Greensboro to cut that promo, but apparently he did not go. The initial report was saying that he was removed from the building. I'm here to tell you that was not the case. He was not removed from the building. He never went to the building. Okay? So Hangman never went to the building. Okay? And a lot of people are asking, why would Tony Khan call in Hangman Adam Page, and he's not supposed to be on Collision anyway. He's a Dynamite guy. Well, they were in Greensboro, North Carolina. I believe Hangman Page lives in North Carolina because he was on Dynamite tonight, so probably TK felt it was easier for him to go to the Greensboro Coliseum there, since Hangman lives in North Carolina, it's easier to travel, things of that nature. So, but yeah, that's the situation with Adam Page. Hold on. Let me see here before we stop and talk about this part here. Okay, yeah. So we're good there. So let's stop there and let's talk about that. So now with that information, Drew, any thoughts about that with Hangman apparently not necessarily accepting, as we know yet, Punk's apology, but the Elite apparently accepted an apology, which was Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks accepting that apology from CM Punk apparently.
All right, so I heard our friends on the Soup, Mish and Kevin Castle, talking about it, and Kevin Castle actually made a good point, in that I think Page might be he might be justified in his resentment towards Punk, because when you look at it, like, Punk's been the one doing the most talking, and Page has kind of been the one keeping his mouth
not even
shut.
that. The Elite's been quiet. It's been, for the most part, and Punk
Right.
and Punk was being good as well. But,
Right.
but Punk, like, to me, and we're really going to dive into this here, but I think that promo was completely unnecessary.
Well, no, what the point I was making, like, for someone like Page, I think for him, it's like, dude, you've been fucking running, like, because when you look at the scrum, a lot of it was directed towards Page, because, for the most part, because for Page, is like, the rumor was that Page was pissed off at Punk because he thought he got Colt Cabana fired, which that ended up not being the case. And, then this promo comes out. So I think for Page, like, his thing is like, dude, fuck you. Like, I haven't been saying shit. We haven't been saying shit, and you're the one running your fucking mouth. So I think for Punk, in his defense, like, he owned up to it, and he says, listen, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to do that. It was just in the heat of the moment, blah, blah, blah. So I can understand Page just being like, you know what, fuck you, I'm not apologizing. I'm not accepting shit. Like, they can accept it, but I'm not doing shit.
Right there. So Punk, like, he did apologize, great. But why even cut the fucking promo? It was off. Okay, there's several things here. It wasn't aired, right? But Punk, he's a smart guy. He had to know he was in front of fans that were gonna pick up their phones, record it, and put it on fucking social media. So why? Like, so Punk knew what he was doing there. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing there. So that's number one. Number two, who approved this promo?
Tony Khan.
Was it Tony Khan, or did Punk just go out there and just say, "Hey, I'm just gonna cut this fucking promo"? I
think Punk can just do whatever the fuck he wants, and Tony's just gonna sit there and clap his hands like a cheerleader.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if TK liked that this happened, but that's the fucking issue right there.
Right.
Like, why would a comment like that be approved, and why will Punk even make that statement, knowing that backlash was coming? But this is the thing. This is the thing here that a lot of people are not gonna say, and this is the reason why I love to do podcasts, and I love to put my voice out there. Would this have happened? Just notice how when this happened. Would this have happened if the Elite were not re-signed to AEW?
Nope.
This would not have happened if the Elite were not re-signed to AEW. If their contracts were still at odds, this would not have happened. Because you want to know why? You want to know why? Because TK probably wouldn't let it happen. Since the Elite are re-signed, well, it's like, well, fuck, the Elite are signed now, well, fuck, he's just gonna let CM Punk go out there and do what he wants, because it doesn't matter, because, like, you can't leave the fucking company, you can't leave mad, so that's a huge problem right there, that TK is basically, to me, it feels like, of this situation at least, taking advantage of the Elite. And like just letting them, be the punching bags of this particular promo. Punk had no, like, he had no right to go out there and to cut that. What was the reason for it? Like you're not drawing anything. This is not a work. This is random. Like, why even do it? Doesn't make any sense. But I digress.
No, I mean, everything you're saying is right on the money. It's like, there really is no winner here. Like, there really is nobody you can defend. I mean, at best, like I mentioned, I can understand with Paige being like, fuck this guy. Like, I'm not going to accept your apology. You guys can't, but fuck this guy, because I've kept my mouth shut, and he's had an awful lot to say about me. So, and again, it's just like, Punk has been right about some things, but for this, it's like, every now and then he'll dip into that, grumpy old curmudgeon CM Punk that we've known for years.
This is the second promo that he's, he actually rightfully called out Adam Page on this one. But the first promo when he came back, which was fine, right? Had to get stuff off his chest. Hey, totally fine, right? But this one here was completely out of left field and to me unnecessary.
No, you're not wrong. It didn't really make any sense because he's not even in a feud with them. He's in a feud with Joe. Like, why? Like, instead, just cut a feud about Joe. Like, say, oh, there's no Samoa Joe toys. Like, I don't know. It just didn't make any sense at all. And like you said, unnecessary.
Okay, so we're for at least right now done with the Page thing. So the next thing here, this is from PW Torch. When Punk first returned earlier this summer after his hiatus, Tony Khan stood up backstage in gorilla position with his headset on and started fist pumping and chatting CM Punk, very passionately as Punk walked by. That's from PW Torch. Terrible. You look like a fucking mark doing that shit.
Yep.
You're supposed to be a boss. You're supposed to be the guy, right? And the fact that you are encouraging this shit is one of the major issues.
Because it starts from the top, like you always say.
It starts from the top, and that right there is very immature, very It doesn't look boss-like. You're not gonna see Triple H, Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard, Shawn Michaels, Matt Bloom, whoever the fuck it is in gorilla position ever do that. You know what I mean? Maybe as like a joke or whatnot, but like obviously like you know, TK was out. Obviously, he was probably serious about that. You know what I mean? If he just came back and we know the reason why he left in the first place, we know the reason why he wasn't on TV, and you do that, that would be different. Like if, let's say, if Triple H is in gorilla position or Vince is in gorilla position and the LA Knight walks by and they'll be like, yeah, that's different because that's encouraging maybe to LA Knight, right? Versus like a backstage that's already split due to CM Punk and the Elite. You got some people who are at Collision who may be on the Elite side, maybe possibly, right? But I don't know. I just think that's very immature on them. But any comments about that particular situation?
You basically just said everything that needed to be said. He's a fucking mark. Tony Khan is a fucking mark. I mean, again, I don't know if you have this on your articles, but like the whole story about, you know, that he apparently got mad that, you know, Dave Meltzer didn't give Jericho's match 5 stars. Like, dude, you're a fucking mark. And again, I don't think Tony Khan's a bad person. I just think he's a fucking mark. Like you see the backstage, like, you know, things where like somebody comes back from Gorilla and you'll see Vince, like, you know, giving like a round of applause. You'll see Triple H doing the same thing. And Maurice saying he's aloof. Yeah, exactly. And it's just, that's respectable. Because it's like, hey, congrats, good match. You know, good job. You wouldn't see Triple H, you know, putting his one finger in the air if he sees Roman coming by. Like, to me, that'd be too markish. I mean, it wouldn't be as bad as him saying, CM Punk, or I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. It's just...
Imagine Triple H doing it. I acknowledge you, my tribal chief.
I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. Put your ones in the air.
Yeah, but again, like if they did like an LA Knight, yeah, like as encouragement or something. Like, I don't know. Even that's still like I don't even know if I even want you to do that. But yeah, pretty bad.
Right. But yeah, okay. This is just awful. Continue.
All right. So next, so you did mention about Christopher Daniels. So I'm gonna go through. Let me see. So there's some of the stuff that you already mentioned already, but we'll go through it here. So Christopher Daniels' involvement in the AEW All Out altercation was specifically the reason, portrayed as the reason, that Daniels was not at Collision. Since Ace Steel was also involved in the altercation, but not allowed to return backstage for Collision, Punk is set to feel the same about Daniels. Again, that's from Nick Houseman. Mr. CM Punk, I regret to inform you that Ace Steel is an agent. Christopher Daniels is head of talent creations. I keep saying creations, relations. Talent relations. There's a big fucking difference, Punk. No matter what you feel about Christopher Daniels, if you like him, if you hate him, whatever the case would be, he is one of Tony Khan's leaders. And he needs to be backstage. This is a situation where Tony Khan needs... And again, who sent home Christopher Daniels? Who sent home Matt Hardy? Who sent home Ryan Nemeth?
Tony Khan.
Okay. But who asked them? Like, who made the complaint?
Is it Philip?
CM Punk.
Mm-hmm. Because
there have been no Tony Khan's not just gonna ask them to go home unless Punk had an issue. Again, he has too much control of what's going on. This is where TK needs to put his foot down and say, hey, look, I'm paying you big fucking money to be here. I'm paying you more money than anyone else I've ever paid here in AEW. You need to either figure a way out and nut the fuck up or shut the fuck up.
But he's not going to say that.
Huh?
But he's not going to say that.
He's not going to say. You know why he's not going to say that?
Because he's a fucking mark.
Well, he's a. So I'll bring this up. Earlier I was in the shop. It was a slow day. The AR place. They are not. They usually open up at noon. But since like school's about to come back now, they open up at 4. So it was a slow day, and I'm expecting that. So I was just sitting there and I was finding videos, and one video came up on my YouTube subscription. So I was like, okay, I'll watch it. You know what I mean? Because I was trying to find more news on this, and I just got done watching Steven Larson's opinion. It was your favorite guy, Mr. JD.
Oh,
He called Tony. Like I'll put a clip. I'll put a clip in the chat after the stream. He called Tony Khan a pussy.
wow.
I'm being. It's a tween. I mean, he called Tony Khan a pussy. He called Tony Khan. He called him a bitch.
Oh, wow.
I'm being serious. Like you'll be surprised. Like Drew, you'll actually be surprised. You're like, wow, I didn't know he hated Tony. He doesn't hate Tony Khan, but he's saying like the situation as a boss, like he's calling him a bitch and a pussy and all this shit. So he never said that about Triple H ever. So that was like, goddamn. But basically the point I'm trying to make is that Tony Khan, yeah, I kind of agreed. I was like, he is a bitch. He is a pussy for allowing CM Punk to have this much control of, of what's going on Collision. And the point I was going to make before I stopped for a brief second was that Collision is a great show. So it's not like Collision's a bad show and CM Punk he's a cancer and all that to Collision. So, like, without CM Punk, then we don't have this great show in Collision. So, Tony Khan's in a situation where it's like, well, fuck, man. Well, CM Punk, he's definitely a headache, and, he's causing, some problems backstage, but goddamn, Collision is such a good show, which it really is. So, the fact that Christopher Daniels got sent home, the fact that CM Punk, he confronted, and we'll get into Ryan Nemeth, I'm sorry. He confronted him in the AEW locker room several weeks prior, and he was talking. Apparently Punk got inches from his face, and he was angrily and aggressively talking to Niven, say, "Hey, we can go outside and to sell things outside." Talking about the Twitter comment. Eventually, they didn't do that, but it seemed like they made up backstage. I don't know if it was at this week's Collision, but apparently there's still tension in the air. Even though they made up, there's still some tension in the air. So be with that as you will. Matt Hardy got sent home, and obviously, I mean that's kind of obvious. Obviously, if we know the history between CM Punk and Jeff Hardy, obviously Matt's going to be there to protect his brother. Maybe they had a little bit of a. I don't know if they had a face-to-face altercation, but apparently Rebby, you know how Rebby Hardy is. She's a fucking psychopath in a good way. I will love a woman like that to have my back. But apparently she had words with CM Punk on Twitter.
Oh, surprising.
Right, exactly. So stop there. And let's talk about that. So this whole situation with. Again, with the Christopher Daniels and Ryan Nemeth and just TK just not having any control over CM Punk whatsoever. With TK being a bitch, a pussy, whatever you want to call it. He needs to, TK, he needs to put his foot down and say, hey, nut up or shut up. I'm paying you millions of fucking dollars to be here. And you're just deciding to be a little, whatever about it. Either you nut up or you shut up. So what's your whole thoughts about that?
Again, it needs to happen. TK needs to be a boss. You'll never hear this in WWE, or at least now, of people having that people having that attitude. You don't hear about Roman having that attitude. Triple H would set him straight, or if it's like NXT, Shawn Michaels will set him straight. Tony just wants to be everyone's best friend.
He's too timid to be an actual boss.
He's too nice. He is way too nice, which is why I said earlier, I don't even think Tony Khan's a bad person. I think he's a nice guy by all accounts.
Oh yeah, no, like he's really a nice, like he's generally a nice guy.
But you can't be a nice person in the wrestling business. You really can't. You need, not even to say you need to be an asshole. You need to like walk that line of like, you can't be a pushover. And this is what Tony Khan is. He's a fucking pushover that allows the stars to, he allows the inmates, or like what you said, the inmate, to run the asylum. And
that's why I thought the whole MJF Adam Cole segment was. I thought that was hilarious because of what's going on right now. Because like he's, I don't know, but continue.
But yeah, just like Tony Khan, eventually he does need to kind of learn that lesson of like, I need to put my foot down and let everyone know I'm the boss. But honestly, I don't think that's ever going to happen, because I think Tony Khan, he needs an enforcer. He needs somebody that's willing to be an asshole and take the heat for him. And, you know, I mean...
I don't know if that's Christopher Daniels either, but yeah.
It can't be Christopher Daniels. He needs... And I'm not saying it needs to be this guy specifically. I'm saying, like, in general, he needs a John Laurinaitis.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He needs a guy like that. I mean, if JR wasn't too old, like, it, you know... I'm sure he'll do it, but like he's too over that shit now.
I mean, less of a guy that, you know, sexually harasses interns, but no, he needs the guy to just be the asshole. He needs the guy that's willing to say, "Hey, shut the fuck up and do your job." He needs to be the guy that's willing to do the dirty work. Like do you watch the show Yellowstone?
I've heard of it, but no.
Like the actor Cole Hauser, he basically plays the right-hand man of Kevin Costner on the show, and his character's name is Rip. He's the guy that keeps the ranch intact whenever, you know, Kevin Costner is off busy doing other things. He needs a Rip.
Hamilton?
I'm sorry?
Hamilton?
No, not Rip Hamilton. Yes, Rip Hamilton. No, you know, he needs a Rip in that sense of the guy who's willing to keep an eye on everything when Tony can't do it or doesn't want to do it.
Right, yeah.
He needs the guy that gets in CM Punk's face and goes, like you just said, we're paying you the most money we've ever paid anyone in this company. Shut the fuck up, stop being a prima donna, and go do your job. And the same thing to the other young wrestlers that, you know, don't want to listen to the veterans. Yeah, and this goes for the Elite, because the Elite aren't innocent in this either. So, same thing for their women. Like, don't be afraid to tell the women off. You know, when they're being, you know, catty and doing the mean girl shit. Britt Baker. So, that's one. Who after Christopher Daniels, who was the other one? Nick Nemeth?
Ryan, the whole Ryan Nemeth situation with him, just like with the whole tweet and all that shit. But apparently they made up, but apparently, again, they you know, backstage talent is saying that tensions are still high backstage.
Okay, so Ryan Nemeth should definitely shut the fuck up, because he's Ryan Nemeth. He's not even his brother. And I like Dolph. Like, if Dolph was popping out the mouth of CM Punk, I would get that, because Dolph actually had a career. Like, he was recognized. He was a world champion. He's been in more prominent matches and been on a better spot in the card. So Ryan Nemeth should probably learn to, again, kudos to him for maybe standing up and saying something, but he should know his place on the card and just shut the fuck up, because he is Dolph's brother. That's basically who he is. He is Dolph's brother. I hate to be a dick, but he is Dolph's brother at the end of the day. So, yeah, they made up good, but at the end of the day, Ryan Nemeth should know his place. I think even his brother would tell him, dude, know your place, because you're barking up the wrong tree. You know what I mean? Because, like, and again, I know it's kind of like a nothing story to do with what I'm talking about, but, like, this reminds me of a story with CM Punk that involved Jericho. It was a story from, like, 2010, I believe, where they were at a house show, and it was Chris Jericho and CM Punk versus Edge and John Morrison. And Edge tells a story that, like, before the match, Edge and Jericho were watching the Stanley Cup, and they're both Canadians. They love hockey, and they were, like, getting into the show, or not the show, but the game, and they were, like, happy as fuck, that their team won. And so it was a house show. So when they get out there, the whole time Punk is working the match, and he doesn't tag in Jericho. And then when they get to the back, hold on. Maurice is correcting me. Maurice is saying the gold medal round between Canada and USA. Okay, I stand corrected. Sorry, Maurice. So when he gets to the back, Jericho gets in Punk's face and says, why didn't you tag me in? Because, we were on the card. People paid money to see me. What the hell? And then Punk just starts telling him off like, you guys are more concerned with the hockey game than our match, and that was unprofessional, and blah, blah, blah. And then Edge gets up to Punk and says, dude, I get where you're coming from, but you're barking up the wrong tree. And years later, Punk posts a tweet that he was watching the Stanley Cup and not a WWE pay-per-view he was watching the Stanley Cup and tweeting about it while he was at a WWE pay-per-view, and Edge just goes, yep, that's what I thought. So, yeah, that's Punk learned a lesson, and now Ryan Nemeth learned a lesson, but continue.
All right, so we're good there. So, next, Jungle Boy.
All right.
So, this is coming from Sean Ross Sapp. So, Fightful has learned about an argument that took place near the start of AEW Collision between CM Punk and Jack Perry over an issue that Manny took with a planned spot of Perry's involving Glass. So the argument took place at the start near of AEW Collision between CM Punk and Jack Perry over an issue that Manny took with a planned spot of Perry's where he wanted to use real glass for a backstage segment. Now, I kind of call BS on because I haven't really heard, and apparently Punk, it wasn't like an argument, it was just kind of like a calm demeanor from Punk, that I will say. However, I'm calling BS on this a little bit. Yeah, I think Punk may have. Yeah, I'm not saying the conversation didn't happen, but I think people were kind of making a little bit this particular story bigger than what it is. Because I haven't really heard any issues of Jack Perry backstage being a total dick or total shithead about everything. Him not wanting to take advice from veterans or things of nature. I haven't heard that from how we heard from Hangman. Hangman blatantly say hey, I'm just not good at taking advice from veterans. I'd rather learn on my own. So I don't know how 100% true this story is, but yeah, it's interesting to say the least. So but the only reason why I brought it up is because we're talking about CM Punk and this all happened during Collision. So I think this was probably the most nothing burger out of all of them all, but any thoughts about the story here, or do you think it's just kind of a nothing burger, kind of how I'm thinking?
I think it's a nothing burger because it just feels like it's a random story. Because every other story kind of feels like it maybe has some legs to it, whereas this one it just felt like they're well, we need another story and we need someone else that's a name. So hey, Jungle Boy apparently got into an argument with CM Punk. Let's go with that. So I don't really think it does anything. I mean, it kind of maybe paints Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, as a spoiled brat, but whatever. But yeah, I don't really.
I mean, I don't. Well, again, that's what I'm saying. I don't. That's what I'm thinking. That this, I think this is BS because again, I haven't really heard in the past that he's been having issues with any other veterans. So again, I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking. This is a BS story because apparently Punk came to him. Well, apparently he came to him with a calm state. Now, also, this is from Punk's side, too, as well. I forgot to mention. Punk's side is saying that, with this whole Jack Perry situation, that apparently they're thinking, that Punk is thinking that, well, if they use a spot with glass, that Jack Perry is just trying to get a week off. Which, that's what I'm thinking is bullshit, because it's well, Jack Perry's been there since the beginning, and he hasn't really, just taken a week off just to take a week off. That's just kind of a weird thing to and again, that's coming from Punk's side, and again, can't confirm if this is 100% true or not, but apparently that's, the major detail that I think a lot of people are not picking up on is that Punk thinks that Jack Perry just wants a week off. Well, it's like, well, what's it to you anyway? Because you're not Jack Perry. So,
Right.
but yeah. But anyway, I'm not too sure if you have any additional thoughts about that.
I don't really care personally.
Okay. All right. So that is. Let me make sure. That is it as far as the CM Punk and Collision drama backstage. But I have another thing after this. So, any closing thoughts on this here, or are you ready to move on?
I'm ready to move on. I think we've said what needs to be said.
Okay. Well, that was a great conversation. So the next part is All In. And with the exception of tonight, there has been no bill for All In whatsoever. No bill for All In. And there are two talents that are backstage. This came from this is exclusive from SE Scoops. There's two talents backstage, anonymous rather, giving their thoughts about All In and the lack of build, and basically a lot of backstage talent that is feeling very frustrated about the situation. So, from one talent, they stated a lot are upset about Wembley. One wrestler told SE Scoops, maybe if it were just Wembley, it would be different. But with everything that's happened over the last year, is becoming the one major issue. And the one major issue is, talking about Tony Khan and CM Punk, and, just like the, just how everything seems to be thrown together. People want to know if they're going to London. What's the card going to be? It's a show everyone wants to be on. It's like our WrestleMania 3 or maybe our WrestleMania 1, but there isn't any urgency. People are scared we aren't going to live up to this moment. So, as of before today, you had MJF versus Adam Cole, and you had FTR versus the Young Bucks, and you had that Fatal 4-Way. Now we have more matches that were announced tonight, but to me, these matches here are not to me. They're not. I won't say worthy. I'll say it. They're not worthy of a crowd like this. The biggest pain wrestling crowd ever, pretty much. That's pretty much where we're almost there. And your main event is MJF versus Adam Cole, which by all means you have hit, lightning in a bottle, right? But prior to that, if this feud did not hit lightning in the bottle, we will be in deep shit right now. Well, not we, but AEW, you know what I mean. AEW will be even more deep shit right now. To me, and remember, because I even said, I was like, MJF versus Adam Cole, that's not good for Wembley. Like, you know what I mean? That's not good for like a fucking Wembley show. Like, 80,000 plus people. Like, so the fact that TK and, give him credit again, still give him credit for tonight, at least give him some matches together, but we got 2 weeks left. You should have had your fucking match card already, pretty much put out there and already known, right? Now, a lot of people are saying they're making excuses for this because of Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson's injury. Remember, his whole injury, at fucking Forbidden Door against Okada, right? It's supposed to be, Danielson versus Kenny Omega. That's one match. You're going to have maybe about 10 matches on this show. Stop the fucking excuses and build a fucking show properly, and stop building and stop having, because right now, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Drew, and I'm always am. Mm-hmm. I'm always am, and I tell it like it is, and you may agree with me, you may not agree with me. You probably will agree with me, but TK and Vince McMahon are the same fucking person when it comes to booking shows and when it comes to not building shit up. Because with Vince McMahon, he'll like for example, like with Russell, you kind of mentioned this with WrestleMania show, but this is more Triple H. But there's been plenty of shows Where Vince, he just, there'll be like 2 matches announced, and then like the last week you get like 4 or 5 more matches announced for a show. That's what we're getting with AEW right now. We're not getting long-term story building. The only thing that's long-term right now, the only long-term story right now, which is not even that long to begin with, is MJF versus Adam Cole. That's the only long-term story. Yeah, you got the Young Bucks versus FTR, right? There's a story that's there already. But people are saying about like this 6-man tag that we're gonna get with Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi and Hangman versus the Bullet Club, Gold. There was some story there from New Japan, but again, not everyone watches New Japan. What's been happening on AEW TV. So the fact that a lot of talent is getting frustrated about this, Tony Khan, Tony Khan and Vince McMahon, they're the same person, in my opinion, when it comes to booking shows. And I'm now starting to realize that, because guess who they only book for? They only book for themselves. They don't book for the wrestling fans. They only book for themselves. So, because Tony Khan, he's gonna book the elites. He's gonna book CM Punk, and fuck the women, and all right, who cares about the TNT title, and we'll give this to Luchasaurus and Christian. But at the end of the day, he only really gives focus to only a certain amount of group, and at the end of the day, it's really just the elite. CM Punk, he does have. I mean, he has Orange Cassidy as international champion, but he doesn't give him a story. You know what I mean? He just has him as a champion and just have him just wrestle people. So, but yeah, talent is frustrated. But yeah, so what is your feeling, your thoughts with this whole All-In build? Because 2 years ago, we would have had a fucking card. No matter, it doesn't matter if you like the card or not. A card would have already been fully made weeks in advance. Versus the last year or so, it seems like it's just been week to week booking. So, what are your thoughts about that?
I mean, I think you make some strong points about the comparisons where, like, Tony Khan's I can't talk anymore. To Tony Khan's credit, back in the day, he would at least book shit in advance. Nowadays, he's just throwing shit at the wall at the last second. And it almost seems like kind of like Vince, especially later in his years when he had no competition. He was like, I'm gonna rest on my laurels and just put something out, and the people will enjoy it. Instead, before it was like, I'm gonna book a feud at least 8 months in advance, and that's how it works. Tony Khan, I think, is getting from the way you're describing him, the way we've been seeing him, is that he's kind of getting a little arrogant. And he's, getting a little too, again, getting arrogant. And there's another phrase I was going to use, but I'm tired.
Right.
But like, yeah, he's getting arrogant to where he's like, it's a show, and we're going to sell 80,000 tickets, and people are going to come, and they're going to like whatever we watch. Which, the only match that has a story that's over is, MJF and Adam Cole. And yeah, we're going to get CM Punk and Samoa Joe, but
that shouldn't have been the match.
Yeah.
It should have been Kenny Omega versus fucking CM Punk.
Should have been the Elite versus Punk and FTR. But again, these are all fucking grown-ass adult men that don't want to be in the same room with each other because they hurt each other's feelings.
But again, that goes back to TK, and
Yes.
TK be like, again, same thing I said about Punk. Like, guys, I'm fucking paying you so much money. The match is fucking happening. We're in fucking Wembley. The match is fucking happening. But again, he doesn't want to be a fucking boss.
And these grown adult men don't want money. I mean, Punk wants money, and to Kenny Omega's credit, he wants money. Even if it means working with someone he doesn't like. But it's like the rest of these fucking pussy adult men don't want to make money. So whatever. And it all starts at the top. But like, yeah, this show, and again, me, I'm gonna be honest. Even if it means I sound like a hater of AEW, I don't have faith in this show doing well. I really don't. I mean,
Doing well as far as like the show itself, as far as like quality, or are you talking about like buys or?
It's probably gonna have buys because
I don't think it's gonna have the buys. I think the show itself is going to be. I think it's gonna be a good wrestling show. That's it, a good wrestling show. But I don't think that like again, you're building this card and like you're it's a slap in the face to everyone who bought a ticket already, right?
It's gonna underperform, like Maurice said. I think it's gonna underperform.
It is gonna underperform. It is.
It's gonna be like. What's the best comparison I should make? Okay, so again, I'm a Marvel guy. I like the Marvel movies, but it's like it's like with the current Marvel movies where it's like we don't have Iron Man anymore, we don't have Chris Evans, we don't have Scarlett Johansson. Pretty soon we're not going to have Thor, and it's like the new Avengers movie is going to be the new Captain America and Shang-Chi and the new Black Panther, and it's like. Okay, that's going to be an okay movie, but it's not going to be like the past Avengers movies. It's going to underperform. It's going to do well, but it's going to underperform. That's what this card feels like, where it's like, maybe there'll be good wrestling matches, but it's not going to be anywhere between the aura mystique that SummerSlam '92 had or WrestleMania had.
This should be their biggest show of all time. And this looks like... Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be the worst show, but... Like on paper... I won't say it's going to be the worst show, but it's going to be the worst show as far as the expectation that should have been. You know what I mean? This is 80,000 people. And again, TK, he's comfortable with what he's in and all that shit. And again, it's just terrible, man. It's just terrible. Like, this show should be a lot more than what it is, and we're not going to get it. And it's all because of ego. It's all because of people who don't want to, do business and all that. So, it's terrible.
Yeah,
absolutely terrible.
Definitely is.
Okay, so the next part of this here, it says so we're right or wrong. Khan stated in the press conference, following Forbidden Door, and not to mention, I forgot, we're gonna have All Out the following week too, but near here or there. But pretty much, this is what Tony Khan said in the presser after Forbidden Door, and this is coming from the second talent. He said that in the presser just after Forbidden Door that Wembley would be a card that would take time to build. Another AEW employee said. He said this was going to be the case, so I'm not sure why everyone is disgruntled about it. I get the fans, but Bryan Danielson would have likely been in the main event or in the top of the card somewhere. Then he breaks his arm the same night Tony said this. So it was already a factor before anyone knew how bad he was hurt. That caused a huge change in plans. Even said Tony even said injuries are going to make this like the first Forbidden Door show when things develop and we're on schedule, and that's been the case. That's a bullshit excuse, because the first Forbidden Door show, there was numerous injuries. Mm-hmm. The summer last year, AEW was plagued with injuries. They were plagued with injuries. This was just Bryan Danielson, and that match again was going to be Bryan Danielson most likely versus King Omega.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we getting CM Punk versus Samoa Joe? I love them both, but that's not worthy of this. But of Wembley, why are we getting this Stadium Stampede match? Like, cool, it's gonna be a fun match, but the Lucha Brothers in there, best friends. I get it. I get they were feuding or whatnot, but like that doesn't feel big. That doesn't feel big to me. You know what I mean? So. Again, AEW fans, AEW, the social media calls them the elitists. The elitists out there, they're creating these excuses for AEW when they need to look their ringleader in the mirror, Tony Khan, and start pointing fingers and start placing blame. This All In show is nothing like the first All In show. The first All In show was a love note to professional wrestling that we got, and it was a super show. This is not that. This feels like a fucking. This should be a fucking Dynamite special. You know what I mean? Fucking beach break or whatever the fuck they call it, right? This is like a quick at the lake. This is a very special edition of Dynamite. This is not a show worthy of 8,000 people. So, but I digress.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It just, again, going back to the previous conversation, this just, how did Jim Cornette, phrase it? This just seems like a show that needed a stadium rather than a stadium that needed a show.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of AEW loyalists there. Actually, except for the one fucktard that I always talk about, who I would never ever say his name on any platform because he doesn't deserve it. But one fucktard, it's still he's just the biggest dick rider I've ever seen in my life. He can't even say anything constructive about AEW. Like, not even one thing. But anyway, but that I think that's it. Yeah. That's it. That's all I have. I know that was very extensive, but I think that conversation needs to be had.
Oh yeah.
Because of the fact that next week it's not going to be it's not going to be relevant, but. Yeah, that conversation definitely needed to be had, and yeah, I'm glad that we had it.
All right, yeah, man, it makes for a good show, and we're already over 3 hours. That was a mouthful, but we still got a few more things to talk about.
Yeah,
if you're up for it, but
I'm good. Yeah, let's go.
Do you want to do more guess the card?
Yes. Do you say you have something for me?
I do.
Okay, sure. We'll do that, and I'll do maybe 2 or 3 with you.
All right, so I made it interesting. So I have a WCW one, I have a TNA one, I have a WWE one, and I have a WWF one. Which one do you want to choose?
We'll go WWF first.
All right, so like before, like Justin did with me last week, I'm just going to name the participants on the card, and it's up to him to guess what the card is, and for bonus points, guess when it happened, and also the venue. So here we go. The first match on the card, Dwayne Gill of the Job Squad versus Matt Hardy with Jeff Hardy.
Okay, sounds like 98-99 already. Okay.
The next match is Kevin Quinn versus Brian Christopher.
Are these pre-show matches?
Oh, yeah. Should I just leave off the pre-show matches?
Yeah, leave off the pre-show matches, yeah.
Okay, never mind. So here are the main card matches. Yes, Goof, we're still going on this. The whole CM Punk AEW thing was a barn burner. We're almost done here. D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry with Jacqueline and Terry Runnels versus Supply and Demand, the Godfather and Val Venus in a tag match.
Okay.
The Headbangers versus the Oddities, Golga and Kurgan.
So this is definitely 98. Okay.
Steve Blackman versus Owen Hart.
Was that a gimmick match?
Singles match.
Lions Den?
Just a singles match.
Okay.
The Brood, Christian, Edge, and Gangrel versus the Job Squad, Al Snow, Bob Holly, and Scorpio with Head.
Okay.
No, Goldust and Jeff Jarrett with Deborah in a striptease match.
Okay.
Tag team match for the WWF Tag Team Championships. The New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg Jesse James versus the Corporation, Big Boss Man, and Ken Shamrock.
Okay.
Singles match for the WWF Championship, Mankind versus The Rock.
Was that the main event?
The main event is Steve... you know what? I think you did this with me last week. Steve Austin versus The Undertaker in a Buried Alive match to compete in the...
No, we didn't do that. There was two different Barry Light matches, but this is so if there's the Barry Light match. This is Rock Bottom '98 in your house.
All right. For bonus points, where did it take place?
Fuck, that I would not know off the top of my head, but I'm gonna go Northeast. I'm gonna go somewhere in Pennsylvania, but I'm probably way off. So
Vancouver, British Columbia.
I'm on the opposite side of first of all, I'm in the wrong country. Then I'm not even on the right coast. So there you go.
And can you tell me the date and year it happened?
Hey, it was '98, but if it was Rock Bottom, that was December '98.
December.
I don't know the exact date, but I'm pretty sure it was December '98.
December 13th.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Which one else do you want? I have a WCW, TNA, and WWE.
We'll do a WCW.
All right, here we go. I have it. All right, matches. So the first match is Billy Kidman versus Rey Mysterio Jr. and Juventud Guerrera for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship.
Okay.
Billy Kidman versus Eddie Guerrero for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship.
Or 98, 99. Okay.
Norman Smiley versus Prince Iaukea. Perry Saturn versus Ernest Miller.
Good stuff.
Brian Adams and Scott Norton with Vincent versus Fit Finlay and Jerry Flynn in a tag match.
Jerry Flynn. All right, so this is definitely 98, I want to say, because that was still NWO. You said Brian Adams and Scott Norton versus Jerry Flynn and who?
Fit Finlay.
Fit Finlay? Yes, this is definitely 98. Okay.
Singles match for the WCW World Television Championship, Conan versus Chris Jericho with Ralphus.
Definitely 98. Okay.
Eric Bischoff versus Ric Flair in a singles match. Diamond Dallas Page versus the Giant in a singles match.
Okay.
Kevin Nash versus Goldberg in a no disqualification match for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
What was the last match?
Kevin Nash versus Goldberg for the WCW World Championship.
Oh my god! Starrcade 98.
Starrcade 98. Can you tell me?
That was in Washington D.C. That was in D.C.
And can you guess the? Can you guess the date?
That was December. December 98.
All right, December 27th, 98.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So the Ric Flair or Eric Bischoff match, that was like for like a troll WCW. Then all you had to say, oh yeah, Goldberg and Kevin Nash. Oh well, there you go. That's one WWE I will forever remember. So there you go.
All right, let's do TNA. So I got a TNA one.
Sure.
All right. Amazing Red versus Brian Kendrick for the X Division Championship.
Amazing Red. You said Amazing Red versus Brian Kendrick?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Sean Morley versus Christopher Daniels, or just Daniels.
Sean Morley?
Yep.
Sean Morley.
Tara versus ODB in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the TNA Knockouts Championship. For the TNA World Tag Team Championships, Hernandez and Matt Morgan versus the British Invasion, Brutus Magnus and Doug Williams. Next, you had
British Invasion. That sounds like sound like 2010 right now. Okay.
Next is Desmond Wolfe versus D'Angelo De Niro in a singles match.
Oh yeah. Desmond Wolfe and D'Angelo. This is 2009, 2010 for sure.
Next is a tag team match: Beer Money versus the Band, Kevin Nash and Six Pac.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know this pay-per-view.
Singles match: Mr. Anderson versus Abyss.
Oh yeah.
Main event: World Heavyweight Championship, AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle.
Oh yeah. This is Genesis 2010.
All right, and the venue is always the Impact Zone, but
I was like, maybe it's the Impact Zone. No.
Yeah,
and if it's Genesis, Genesis runs in January
17th, 2010.
There you go.
Lastly, I have the WWE pay-per-view.
All right.
All right. Okay. Tag team match: Christopher Nowinski and Rodney Mack with Teddy Long versus the Dudley Boys.
2004-2005.
Singles match for the managerial services of Stacy Keibler, Scott Steiner versus Test.
Is it maybe 2003, 2004, because Scott Steiner's still there. So okay.
Booker T versus Christian for the Intercontinental Championship.
Okay.
For the World Tag Team Championships, La Resistance versus Kane and Rob Van Dam. Goldberg versus Chris Jericho singles match. Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels in a singles match. Not really a match, but I guess a gimmick thing. Steve Austin versus Eric Bischoff in a redneck triathlon.
So this is definitely the Raw brand in 2003.
And the main event, Triple H versus Kevin Nash in a Hell in a Cell for the World Heavyweight
That
Championship.
gave it away. That gave it away right there. That's Bad Blood 2003. If that Triple H and Kevin Nash match wasn't on that card, I would have had I would have had a hard time with this one. But that one right there, that Hell in a Cell, gave it away. Bad Blood 2003.
All right, next time I need to pick something different. Can you guess the venue?
No. I know where it's at, but I'm not gonna say it.
Good old Houston, Texas, Justin's favorite place in the world. Can you guess the date?
No, I don't want to guess the date because that's near my. It was probably near my birthday, but it was on my birth month.
June 15, 2003. Actually, the day the Spurs won their second NBA championship.
Well, ain't that symbolic?
Awesome. All right,
Ain't that symbolic? So funny thing is, I had the pay per view on one TV because I had like two TVs in my room, and I had the Spurs game on. But Spurs game was on the big TV, obviously, because we're winning. But I had on silent, and I was able to watch the main event after we won the championship. So,
actually, no, that's not when the Spurs won their second championship. The day they won it was the bit on SmackDown where Brock Lesnar suplexed Big Show, and the ring fell apart.
So what? So the ring fell apart. So what day did the Spurs win the title then? Because I thought I remember watching the game.
Well, it was SmackDown, so it was Thursday.
I know that, but so did this happen? So Bad Blood happened after the Spurs won the title?
Let me look it up real quick. Spurs.
I remember watching something else, and when you were saying, I thought it was a Spurs game.
Spurs 2003. Game 6.
They won in Game 6. I know that. I remember that.
June 15th. Oh, so that was Bad Blood.
Yeah, I remember watching it.
Okay, never mind. I was wrong. I was right, and I was wrong. All right, so those are the cards I have. So
all right. Well, let me get you some cards here. We'll probably just do maybe just 2 or 3, and right. We'll call it a night here. No, I think this would be too hard for you. You know what? No, actually, no. We're gonna do this one.
Do it. Bring it.
We're gonna do this one. Okay. So this is the first one here. We'll do 3. So first one here is no pre-show matches. This is the Nation of Domination, D'Lo Brown, Kama Mustafa, and Rocky Maivia versus the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, handicap match. Second match is a tag team match, Nova and Max Mini versus Tarantula and Mosaic.
Mm-hmm.
WWF Tag Team Championship, the Godwins versus the Headbangers. The Intercontinental Championship match, Owen Hart versus Farouk.
Mm-hmm.
8-man tag, you have Los Boricuas, Jesus Castillo, Jose Estrada, Miguel Perez, and Savio Vega versus the DOA of Chains, Crush, Skull, and 8 Ball.
Mm-hmm.
You have a flag match of the British Bulldog and Bret Hart versus Vader and the Patriot. And in your main event, a Hell in a Cell match, The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels.
Bad Blood, 1997.
I knew that was gonna. I knew that was gonna. I knew it. I just knew that, like the rest of the matches didn't matter. It was just the main event. But would you like to guess the venue?
Was it in Nassau Coliseum?
No, it was in the Kiel Center in St. Louis. They did the they did the what you call it there. They did the actual was NWA whatever tribute.
Was that the same day that Brian Pillman died?
It was the same day that yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, let's no, I'm switching this because just for the record, I was about to do Royal Rumble 2003, and it would have gave it away because it would have been like a Royal Rumble match. I would have to say, hey, Royal Rumble match.
It's like, can you guess the venue? Royal Rumble match. Who won?
Right. We'll do this. This might be this yeah. We'll do this one. We'll do this one. Okay. Kurt Angle versus Randy Orton. Eugene versus Umaga. 2 out of 3 falls match. Ric Flair versus Mick Foley.
I know what it is.
Triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Shelton Benjamin and Carlito versus Shelton Benjamin and Carlito. Versus Carlito versus Johnny Nitro.
Yeah.
Singles match for the WWE Championship. Rob Van Dam versus Edge. Kane versus Imposter Kane.
Fucking awful match.
Extreme Rules Lumberjack match, Sabu versus John Cena. And in your main event, you have a handicap match of the G Generation X versus Benny, Johnny, Mitch, Nikki, Becky. We are
the Spirit Squad. Do. I know what that is. Vengeance, 2006.
Right on. Would you know the venue?
I know it's in Texas.
Okay.
It's I remember it not being in any like the bigger markets like San Antonio or Austin or Dallas or Houston, but is it Arlington?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
What the fuck?
That's where we're at.
I was way the fuck off. I was probably thinking about.
I said Pennsylvania. I said Pennsylvania for me. It was in fucking Vancouver. So anyway, all right, last one here.
Go ahead.
I seriously doubt you'll get this. I'll actually be thoroughly impressed if you get this here. No pre-show matches. Chavo Guerrero versus Shane Helms, Cruiserweight Championship match. Reno versus Vito. The Young Dragons of Kaz Hayashi and Yin Yang defeated Jamie Noble and Evan Courageous. Ernest the Cat Miller versus Mike Sanders.
This is a WCW pay-per-view. I already know that.
The Filthy Animals of Rey Mysterio, Billy Kim and Conan versus Team Canada of Lance Storm, Alex Skipper, and Mike Awesome. Ming versus Crowbar versus Terry Funk, a triple threat hardcore match for the Hardcore Championship. World Tag Team title match of the Insiders, Kevin Nash and Diamond Dallas Page, versus the Natural Born Thrillers, Sean O'Haire and Chuck Palumbo with Mike Sanders. First Blood Chain match for the United States Championship, General Erection versus Shane Douglas. No disqualification match. Totally buffed of Lex Luger and Bob Bagwell versus Dwayne Bruce and Goldberg. And in your main event, 4 quarters match for the World Championship, Jeff Jarrett, Road Warrior Animal, Sid Vicious, and Scott Steiner.
Okay, so this is obviously WCW, and from the way it sounds, it's WCW in like their later years.
Okay.
You said the main event was the 4 corners, right?
Yeah, 4 corners, yeah.
And Scott Steiner was the champion?
Yes.
So, yeah, that was obviously when they were about to be bought out. I have the name on my head, and I'm just blanking. Was it Sin?
It was Sin. Wow. All right. Good for you, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, Sin, 2001, and that's when Vicious broke his leg. Oh Jesus!
Oh, I remember that. Yes, I do.
I remember watching it. I remember watching it live. Remember watching Nitro after. They kept showing the replay over and over again. Like, but you want to guess the venue? It's a random venue.
Is it in the Midwest?
Yeah. Definitely consider it Midwest.
Gen erection. Okay, I'm gonna go with Indiana.
Yeah, wow. There you go. Indianapolis, Indiana. Conseco Fieldhouse.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Well, that's before. You know, I'm just gonna do. We'll do one last one here. Last one here.
Bring it.
Let's see. No, can't do that one. I'm actually started typing in Royal Rumble. I was like, I can't do that one. I mean, I can't. Nah. That'll be too obvious. Ooh, yeah. Now we're getting down to the good shit here. I think that's a little too hard, so I'll just do this one. Okay, so first match, Simon Man versus Owen Hart. The Smoking Guns versus the New Rockers versus the Godwins versus the Body Donnas. 4-way elimination match for the tag team championships.
Okay.
You have the British Bulldog versus Psycho Sid. You have Goldust versus Mark Merrill. You have Jerry the King Lawler versus Jake the Snake Roberts. You have The Undertaker versus Mankind in a Boiler Room Brawl. And for the WWF Championship, you have Shawn Michaels versus Vader.
Shawn Michaels versus Vader. Was this Was this Shawn's first title reign?
Yeah.
First title reign?
Yeah, still technically, yeah.
SummerSlam 96.
Yeah, there you go. SummerSlam 96. And he didn't lose a smile yet either, so good for him.
Was it the same show when he was kicking Vader and saying, "Get off the ground, you fat piece of shit"?
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead.
Yes. Where was this located at?
Was it in the East or the West?
East.
Uh,
I guess.
I'm gonna say Jersey.
No, not Jersey. Not Jersey. It's in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh shit!
The only reason why I was like East, it's Midwest, but like it's Eastern time zone, so that was just yeah.
Okay. Can I do one
Alright.
more with you?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So I tried to make this maybe a little more conspicuous. Maybe you might get it, maybe you won't. But so I have a WWF pay per view from the 2000s. All right. So Team Extreme, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, and Lita versus TNA, Test and Albert with Trish Stratus.
So
In a
it's 2000.
6-person mixed tag team match.
It's 2000. Okay.
Okay. Taz and Al Snow in a singles match, or Taz versus Al Snow in a singles match.
Okay.
Perry Saturn defeated Eddie Guerrero for the European Championship.
Perry Saturn versus Eddie Guerrero for the European Championship.
Eddie Guerrero had China with him.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
The APA versus Edge and Christian for the Tag Team Championships.
Got you.
Val Venus versus Rikishi for the Intercontinental Championship in a steel cage match.
Yep.
Undertaker versus Kurt Angle in a singles match.
Yep. This is the year 2000. This is screaming the year 2000 right now.
Triple H versus Chris Jericho in a last man standing match.
Oh, well, that gave it away right there.
The Rock versus Chris Benoit for the WWF Championship.
Fully loaded.
Yep.
2000.
Mm-hmm. Can you guess where it is?
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. It's in Texas.
Oh, well, it's not San Antonio. I mean, I'm gonna go Dallas, I guess.
Yep. In the Reunion Arena.
I wasn't even thinking. I wasn't even really thinking nowhere near. They usually gave it to me, but I was thinking. I was gonna say like, I don't know, Florida. So, but yeah.
July 23rd, 2000. So that was fun. That will be a bit on the show. And I know we went a little longer than we should have, 3 hours and 30 minutes, but hey, it was fun. We had a lot of shit to talk about, and it needed to be talked about. We couldn't just skim over it, but
And just so you guys know, I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna put that clip or probably that whole little video down there, but I'll see if I can clip one of the parts where you call him like a bitch or something, so I can have a little good laugh before y'all can go to sleep. So,
but speaking of going to sleep, we're done, people. We are done for the night. Thank you to everybody that came in to listen, to chat with us, and the show will be up whenever it gets up, hopefully tomorrow, hopefully Friday. But we'll be seeing you soon, people. We'll see you next week, same time, same channel, where we'll be discussing All Out predictions. And that's it for the night, guys.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Yep. Yeah. Good show. Good show tonight, guys.
Absolutely. Sweet dreams, people, and peace out.
Peace.